not a beer person.
Yeah, we're not beer people.
Oh, I love beer.
We're not alcohol people.
Jinx that.
I know.
You owe me a beer.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready.
Welcome back, guys, to This Is Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guests today are
Brittney Cano.
And Art Serta.
Art Serta and
Or
Brittney.
Artfit Creates on social media.
Okay.
I did not know that y'all were like
Is Art
married.
your name for real?
It's Arturo.
Arthur. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Arturo.
that makes sense though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I like art now.
Art.
Yeah, art.
Are you an artist?
I'm an artist.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like-
yeah.
That's what everyone says all the time. Art,
Okay.
like the artist. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's dope. Well, welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank y'all for joining us.
You guys are the second
Couple.
second guest for this year, for
Yeah.
2024.
Nice.
We're excited to have you guys on and just learn a little bit about yourselves and, what y'all do and stuff. So, but first I want to ask, like, where are you guys coming from right now? Like, where did y'all
Where are y'all
drive
doing
from?
today?
Oh, from my house, from my apartment.
Like, it's,
I went on a
'cause-
walk and then I got ready and then now I'm here.
No, but you guys said y'all live in Stafford?
Yeah, Stafford.
Okay.
Okay.
And off camera, you guys said you're not from here?
Not from.
I didn't say that off camera. I'm just kidding.
I did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So,
Damn,
yeah,
she's
like,
correcting me.
so where y'all from or what?
I'm from the real Texas, border town to Mexico, Acuña.
Is that by like El Paso or what? Or is it down
No, way
south?
far. You know Eagle Pass? A lot of people know Eagle Pass rather than the Rio. If you go south, 2 hours south from San Antonio, you'll get to the Rio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's like border town, you said?
border town. Yeah. Plus, we have an accent. If you can pick it up, have an accent.
Yeah, you
my
do have an
parents,
accent.
my parents live in Mexico, like the border town. That's where they're from. And then I was born in Del Rio, and I live in Mexico for a little bit, and then I moved. Well, yeah, we live in Mexico for a little bit. Then I went to Del Rio when I was older.
And where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio. San
So
Antonio,
you went
Texas.
to San Antonio?
No, actually, I went to. Well, you want to know how I met her?
Yeah.
San Angelo. So I went the Rio, and then 2 hours southwest, it's San Angelo for me, and that's where I went to school for college, and that's where I met her.
So it's like, long story short, I guess we met in college, right? Like after high school, we both went to Angelo State University, and then we dated for 8 months. It just like didn't work out. And then I ended up transferring schools, and like funny enough, because you said El Paso, I went to UTEP in El Paso. I graduated, and then I was taking a gap year, and I moved back to San Antonio. That's like home for me. And then we like reconnected over social media. We started dating for 3 months, and then we got engaged, and here we are.
Slid in my
Dang.
DMs.
Yeah, and then
Wait,
we.
so how long have you been together overall?
I think it will be 5 years in April.
God damn.
Yeah,
Oh my God. So y'all are young. How old are y'all?
No.
I'm 28.
30,
Wait,
30.
yeah, I'm 28.
You're 28?
I'm like, yeah,
30.
30?
30?
Okay.
Okay.
He just turned 30.
How old are you guys?
26 and
Stop lying.
I'm 31.
Yeah, he's 31.
Okay.
I'm 29.
I would have believed you.
Yeah. I can see it.
So
I mean,
young. You're young.
Yeah, so we're like in the middle.
I'm
Kinda.
like 25, 35. You pick, whatever you want me to be.
Nah, he's 31 and I'm 29. Well, I just turned 29 in December. So.
Oh, okay. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
What was your last name again?
Cano.
Cano?
Cano.
So you Hispanic?
I'm full Hispanic.
Okay.
But you don't speak Spanish.
But you don't speak Spanish.
No.
Okay.
Where are your
'Cause I was
parents
like, oh,
from
shit,
here?
is
Are
she
you
white?
second generation? You don't look Hispanic.
So thank you. I guess I don't know. I get that. I mean, I get that. I've gotten that like my whole life. So
Yeah.
my parents are from San Antonio, but so are my grandparents, and so are my great grandparents. So like,
is the
I really
generations
like. I know I
happening.
I think it's like third generation. Like maybe my grandparent. Maybe my great grandparents on my dad's side are from Mexico, but like from my mom, it's been like San Antonio since like, because I've tried asking, especially because like I have a lot of Hispanic friends now,
Yeah.
and like growing up, I feel like, to be honest, like all I had was like white friends, so I just like didn't really like care about like my culture and like different things and stuff like that. And so now I guess like as I've like grown into it and like trying to like discover like more like about myself, like I have no idea. I kind of want to do that.
The testing.
23
Yeah, just to like see, because I
Yeah.
have no idea.
I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't find anything.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I'd like be lost, like
What do you mean?
because I don't know, like my family's like from Mexico, so it's
Like
like
they can go.
like they won't have that much
the
information.
paperwork and stuff like online and all that.
Yeah, like
I
he's
feel,
first
but-
generation here. like that was born here, and I'm first generation too. So technically, you are too. Yeah. So it's like with you, I can see
I'm like
how.
fourth.
Yeah, so I can see how the
lost.
culture gets lost, you know, because like I fear that with our son, like I'm just like I don't want him to like not know where his parents are from, because I'm Salvadorian. My family's Salvadorian.
Okay.
His family's from Mexico, but we go to Mexico so much that I'm just like,
She's Mexican. Huh?
I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvadorian. But I feel like I want to teach him that, you know, and you know how, I don't know how about y'all, I'm sure you did, because you know how your parents, like you grow up with carne guisada and arroz, like on a Wednesday, like it's just the type of food you grow up eating. It's not as healthy, but you.
It is. It can be healthy.
It can be, but our parents weren't cooking it like that, you know.
The tortillas are the ones that get you.
You know, but I feel like as a mom now, I don't cook like that for him. You know what I mean? So I feel like the culture is getting lost in that way.
I know what you mean in a sense, because I didn't even grow up with that.
I think
I feel like I grew up personally very like Americanized, right? Because like honestly, I really like my friend group that I have now so much, because I mean I've told Art about this, but I almost felt like a little bit like ashamed to be Hispanic, like growing up. Like I feel like I didn't belong, like I didn't, like I almost liked that people were like, oh, like you looked kind of white, because it made me feel like I fit in more, versus like now I'm like, oh, like this feels like good to be Hispanic, because like it feels like me, you know, even though like I don't speak Spanish, like, you know, my friends are making jokes and I don't always know what they're saying, like it feels good because I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, you know, if that makes sense.
And I feel like it's just like la cultura, like the culture, you know. I think Hispanics have that I always tell his mom, I'm like, because his parents, they don't have daughters, right? It's only boys. So I always tell her, I'm like, you always gave me the welcoming vibes. Like you made me feel welcomed all the time, you know? And I feel like it could be like that with your friends. And that's why you feel like, oh, well, this is where I am supposed to be.
Like I feel
you
loved
know?
in a sense.
Yeah.
No,
I can see that.
Really
yeah.
cool.
It's cool though. I'm glad you're like trying to like dive into like your culture. Have y'all gone to Mexico?
Yes, but like Cancun and stuff.
Hey, you still get that experience.
No, you do,
Yes,
you know, so it's like semi, yeah. But even me, like, going to where his parents are from, because we just had our toy drive over there, right? It's completely different from Cancun. But I'm sure, like, where his parents are from is completely different from where your parents are from. You know what I mean? It's just like the culture like can be. Mexico is so big.
Yeah, because when we go over there, and if like we took her aunt, right, and then we're like, just don't expect like Cancun, don't expect like water. And
I'm like, there's nothing.
It's just like dirt road and just like, you know.
What part of Mexico is it?
Like Vallehermoso, Tamaulipas.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like Tamaulipas is like maybe an hour from the border, and then from there it goes like maybe another 30 minutes, and that's like our little pueblo. It's a small town, bro. Like, you know.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, but his dad has us spoiled. Like, he has like AC, heater in the house. There's hot water, like, so it's not like, you know.
But that's recent, though. It is recent.
I don't know. I've always experienced it. So I never really had to like struggle, unless it's one of those things where like it's a lot of us. So when we shower, it's like the hot water is gone. Or it's just like a chorrito, like something super small coming out, you know. So, but with that being said, going back to you guys. So now that y'all like, whenever y'all met each other, were you guys already doing what y'all are doing now?
No, yeah. So whenever we got engaged, so I had taken a gap year because I was going to go to dental school. And whenever we got
I did see that you said something about.
Yeah. So whenever we got engaged, I was just like, well, I'm just like, I was like, had a serving job. So I was like, I'm just serving right now. And I'm just like kind of studying. And I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I was like, I could literally move back to San Angelo with like no strings attached. And so that's what we did. And then we were there. How long were we there for? How long was I there for?
Only a year, no?
I don't even think it was a year. I think it was like 9 months.
Okay.
And then during COVID, I was like, there's literally like nothing here for us. I was like, we're just kind of just like, because I had decided that I didn't want to be a dentist anymore. So I was just kind of like lost up in the air, not really sure what to do with my life.
But what were you doing?
I was just serving.
Oh, you were just
serving?
I
was just serving, like trying to figure out like what to do.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, let's move to Houston, you know, because like, you know, I feel like just like the scene down here is different. Like there's so much like opportunity. And so we literally like quit our jobs and like we gave our notice, and then we like had some money saved. I think we had like what, like $6,000 saved up.
I had $6,000.
Yeah, he had $6,000 saved up.
And I was already living in San Angelo for 7 years. So I was already done with San Angelo because I just went there for college. So I was there for 4 years of my college, and then kind of just stuck around because I had a job. I used to work at a nutrition store, and that's why I started like my social media part. I started doing the social media for the nutrition store and working as an employee, and it was like 10-hour days, like almost 6 days out of the week.
Yeah.
And they were paying me extra, so I was making the most money I've ever made just working there, and I thought it was like easy job. So I was like, this is good.
Yeah. So you didn't feel like it was a draining job? Because
it
was a long hours.
Like it was like the long hours felt draining, but I enjoyed it because I got along with my coworkers, my bosses. But I knew inside that I always wanted, even when I started college, I always wanted, like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur somehow. Like I always knew, I always felt different. So going to college, I just kind of went because I wanted something to have, like, in case something didn't work out, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. So, but yeah, I did that I think I worked there for 5 years until I got,
Yeah, you felt like that was like the I made it. Like I'm doing like, it was video work.
Yeah, I don't think I felt like I made it, but I was like, okay, now I'm going on the right path of where I need to go.
You're getting the experience.
The experience, even though I still feel like stuck, just because there I feel like I wasn't getting any growth. Like I was helping the social media. I was doing the social media there, and like honestly, like the nutrition store was doing really well. I mean, the nutrition store was good, but I think the social media was bringing a lot of eyes to the page because we're doing like skits and all these kind of things with my friend that I had there, and no one was doing it. So I think it was like a lot of people liked it.
Yeah. So who was that? Who came up with the idea to move to Houston?
So it's because, well,
I wanted to move to Houston. Like I think she started it.
I feel like it was always kind of like, oh, let's move to Houston, right? But it was maybe like something that like typically like would never happen, but like, oh, like wouldn't it be cool to like move here because
it was pillow talk.
Yeah, right. So he had done like a couple bodybuilding shows, like Men's Physique, and we had came down and we were like, oh, like we could actually like really live here, you know what I mean? And so like I remember I was like, we should just, because I feel like I'm like really a person that like takes action. I feel like I'm a big risk taker. Like you never know what could happen. You know what I mean? So like, let's just do it. Like if it doesn't work out, like we'll figure out another way. Like there's always some type of option, you know? Like we can, and I know we can figure it out. And so I was like, let's just do it. I'm like, you have some money saved up, like, and then it was like during COVID, right? So like everything was kind of paused, and I was like, we don't, like, realistically, like we don't have to pay like these bills right now. Like we can just like do it. And I remember like, did you want to at first? Because I mean, it was kind of scary, right? I can't remember. It was so long. It's like so long ago now.
I mean,
feels like a blur.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't want to, but
I think
we just make it, like, I was like, let's make sure that it's
like,
gonna work out. But then she was like, well, she kind of convinced me like it's gonna be okay. And then I was like, I have $6,000 saved up from the job that I had because I was just saving money just in case I wanted to do something. Yeah. So yeah, I think she just convinced me. I was like, let's do it.
I started looking for like apartment because I mean we had no idea like about like where we were gonna move
you
or
don't
like
have family here.
Yeah, so we had like we knew nobody here, so I was like just looking at apartments, and like at the time, honestly, I remember we moved into an apartment, and I think we paid like $1,500, and the apartment that we were living in San Angelo was $500. So it was like, it was a huge jump, but I was like, we can figure it out. Like, we'll just do something. Like, we'll figure out something for work. Like, I can get another servant. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to like figure out options to just like try and go.
Like, if there was a problem, you found a solution.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then whenever it happened, it was like, you know, during the time that the world was shutting down. So, and it was like level red and like all these things. So it was like kind of scary, but we just, my parents came and like they helped us pack up like everything in San Angelo, and like they drove us down because my dad has like a pickup truck. So like we got a U-Haul, like they literally drove the U-Haul from like San Antonio, like picked us up and then like helped us come down here. And then like I remember like getting into the apartment. It was like a 1-bedroom apartment.
What neighborhood was it in?
It was in Braeswood over there. It's kind of like
and it was already nicer because in San Angelo, like the nicest you could live over there, I think it was like $800, like the most you could pay over there.
So you thought $1,500 must be really good.
Yeah,
so Braeswood is like hood shit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, well, so it was Braeswood Place. It was kind of like Bel Air. It's not Chinatown Bel Air, but it's Bel Air. But where we live, it's almost like by Rice Village.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty nice. It wasn't Rice Village, but it was.
But you're like in the outer line or something.
Almost like by NRG.
Oh, okay.
And they're like a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think when we moved, it was like, I mean, not the most expensive, but it was like a nice area. Like when we moved there,
it felt like, safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we didn't want to move because we didn't know Houston at all.
Yeah.
And we don't want to move like to a part where like, okay, we don't know if it's gonna be safe and stuff like that. So we make sure like, okay, let's pay a little more to have a gated community, and it feels safe for
just
you,
in case.
for me, just in case.
No, that's smart though. Yeah.
Because we don't know Houston, so
yeah.
I mean, I was paying $1,500. We thought we were living lavish.
Yeah.
Like, in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. I know when we would drive like by Rice Village, that's like our like. Let's go to Rice Village. Let's drive by.
Yeah. That used to be our dates. Like we used to go to Rice Village and just go eat at
like chocolate factory and stuff.
No, the chocolate bar.
The chocolate bar. That's
chocolate bar.
Yeah, there used to be a chocolate bar.
Oh, it's not there anymore?
I don't know.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there. Yeah.
Basically, it's like a little bar, and it's like not an alcoholic bar, right?
Yeah.
It's just like literally a place where they sell nothing but cakes and chocolate covered fruit and chocolate covered candy. It's like nothing but chocolate, right?
Oh, interesting. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a little shopping center. They what used to be there? Urban Outfitters used to be there. Mm-hmm. It's like an outside shopping center.
I know what you're talking about.
It's by Torchy's Tacos.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know the exact area
so
that you're talking
it's
about.
in that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Torchy's is like right here, and there's like the street behind it.
Okay.
That's where the chocolate bar.
Okay, I'm gonna
I don't know if
look it
it's
up.
still there. It should be because they moved locations.
Yeah.
So they moved to that one street. And
I still go by there. Like chocolate bar.
Mm-hmm.
By yourself?
Solo dates.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, and you don't bring me anything home?
Okay.
It's all far.
It's like completely out of the way.
I know.
I took a wrong turn and I ended up there.
No, but yeah. So were you guys? Did you guys go to? Well, obviously you didn't go to school for what you do now, right?
No.
And
so,
did you?
No, I went to school for kinesiology, and
so
that's not even what I wanted to. I wanted to be an engineer.
Mm.
But in high school, when I applied to colleges, I didn't get accepted because my math score was like off by a few like points. I think that's what it scored.
Okay, yeah.
Because for engineering, you had to have like a higher math score, and I started instead of applying as undecided, I applied as for engineer, and my scores needed to be higher, so I didn't get accepted to A&M, to any of those that my friends were going to. So I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I guess I just go to San Angelo because that's where I got accepted, and I'll figure it out. And once I got there, I was like, what's the next thing that I like? I was like, working out. So kinesiology, exercise science. So that's what I started doing. So I just did it just because, I mean, I had no other choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now y'all don't do none of that?
None of that. No.
No. It's weird because whenever we moved to Houston, right? Because I was like, I got to have a plan, right? I'm very much so like, I need a plan type situation. And so I like applied to go to U of H to get my master's degree, right? Because whenever we moved, he was like, I'm gonna just like see if this like social media marketing stuff like works. And I was like, okay. But I'm like, well, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know how to use a camera. I don't know how to do what you're doing.
And look at you now.
I know it's crazy. It's really crazy.
It happened so fast.
I know. So I applied to U of H and like I literally like applied to go to school. I paid the deposits, like like going to college again. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to do this. And then one of our friends, he gave us like this $2,000 course.
Shout out to Sebastian if you're watching this.
Yeah, like seriously, he gave us this course, and it was like how to audit like social like accounts, businesses' social medias, and like Art literally did the course. I remember it was like our 1-bedroom apartment. He literally did the course. It was like probably like a 5-month course or something. It was like so extensive, and he did it in like 4 days.
Yeah,
he was just like
I took it like if it was my job. Because I didn't have nothing to. I just had the $6,000 saved, and my plan was, okay, I'm gonna pursue this social media stuff, how to get clients, and if nothing works out, in like by the time the money runs out, I'll get a job at Walmart or somewhere. Because I was already working at Walmart before that too, so I was like, I can just get a job there and try to do both at the same time till we figure it out. But yeah, I just took that course that it wasn't even like a videography or photography course. It was a course how to get clients. And it was an extensive course that my friend gave me for free, and I would wake up at 9 or whatever time, and I would just do it all day till like a regular job till I finish it. And I finished it in a week, and as soon as I finished it, I started applying it to go to like
just
business
different
and stuff.
people.
And it just took off.
So you were doing like cold calling kinda, or you were walking into businesses?
The way I did it was like it teaches you how to like get in the door and like get them to like
get past the gatekeeper type stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like there was this like salon where they cut hair for men too, and I just went there twice to get my hair cut, and then I started talking to the person that worked there, and I was, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a social media person. I can do social media for businesses. I'm like, oh, and they're like, can you do this for me? I was like, yeah. And I made this like, what is it? Audit.
Oh yeah.
I made an audit for the business.
like this is what's wrong with your business. Yeah, this is what I can do.
You can do.
Yeah.
Like a social
paper
media
audit.
Then I gave it to her for free. I was like, this is free. If you start doing these steps, you can take your business to the next level. Like blah blah. Obviously, they don't want to do them themselves. So like, you have a free call if you have any questions. So then she calls me like, hey, I would like to get a meeting. And in the meeting, that's what the course teaches you in the meeting, how to close that. So I had no experience. I didn't have any of the camera gear that I have now. I just went in like, I was already
like,
this
it's
big.
It's like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I was like this big shot already.
Oh yeah, like
you're like, I have 20 years experience, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a social media guy.
He's all 20.
So dang, you started young.
And
family business.
Yeah, I mean, I just pitched it. Pitched my business, and she's like, yeah, and I think that was her first client, and it was like $200 a month.
And we were like, hell yeah, $200 a month.
That's something, yeah.
No, I know, and it was.
I was gonna ask you how much was it,
it was $200 a month, and when she said yes that we made it, I was like, okay. And I think having that first win motivated me to like, okay, if I can do this one, I can do more.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I just started like making all these audits. Like I wouldn't even go to the business anymore. Cause like if I go to the business and do the same, like they get to know who I am, it's gonna take too long. Cause I try to do it with the restaurant, and I would just sit there and order and like work on my computer. So hopefully the owner will know, like ask me like, oh, how you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, well, I was like, if I do that, it's gonna take too long. Plus, I don't have all this money to be spending on this business to go and like try to make like small talk.
Yeah.
So I just started making all these audits for the business around my area. And I just started like dropping them off. Hey, I do this. And I mean, a lot of them say no, and some of them yes. But in between there, like we were making connections. People were like, "Oh, can you do this, do that?" And blew off.
Amazing. And so while he's doing this,
well, you want to say it? You want to say?
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
So she was gonna go to school, and I was 2 weeks into doing this. So the first week that we moved here, we like didn't do anything. We just kind of drove around.
Yeah.
Went to go eat and things like that. And then the second week that we were here, that's when I started. And the third week, that's when I started like asking for business. And then she saw me like getting these businesses, and she was like, what if I don't go to school and I help you? I'm like, I would love that. Honestly, I was like,
it's so weird to think about.
And I was like, okay. So she dropped out of her classes. She never went.
So how much money deposit did you lose?
No, it wasn't that much because I just paid like the application fees and stuff. I was about to pay for school, and it was like gonna be like $3,000 because I was gonna go back full time, you know. So I was like really trying to think, and I'm like what do I do, like security but you know, like
in the back of your mind, did you think like, I'm about to, while you're applying, are you thinking like, I really don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it because it's the best option? Or what were you thinking?
Yeah, because I mean, I felt like I was in the middle of like an identity crisis because I mean, I had wanted to be a dentist since I was literally in 6th grade. And whenever I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore, I was like, who am I without this title? Like this title it's like Brittney the dentist. That's like everybody knew that about me like since forever, right? And I'm like, and then I take it away and it's like, well, what's left? Like, who is Brittney? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, you know, and it's like, you know, growing up too, you learn like you have to go to college, you have to get a job, like you have to do this, like there's just certain things that you just do, right? And so I was like, I just felt like a big disappointment to my family because it was like a shock whenever I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And like I was serving, and there's nothing wrong with serving. I just knew that I didn't want to be in this situation for like my whole life. And I was like, and you know, like I was getting asked like by family members, like, well, are you going to be like a server your whole life? Right. And I'm like, I'm starting thinking like, man, like, am I, you know, and it's like, I always knew that I wanted something more for myself. And I felt like whenever I wanted to be a dentist, I did want to like own my own practice and stuff. But I really never thought about like, oh, I could be an entrepreneur, right? Like I always knew that about art, but I never was like, oh, that could be me too, right? It was just like, in your mind,
you're like, I'm gonna be a dentist.
Yeah, and like I knew I was gonna have my own practice, so like it was gonna be my own thing. But like, what's an entrepreneur? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing.
You weren't connecting that having your own thing was really that. Right?
Yeah, no, yeah. And so whenever I was like, I just like asked him, I'm like, would it be okay if I did this with you too? Like, I mean, I didn't know what to do, but I'm like, I'll help you. in any way that because I know that whenever like I really put my mind to something, like I'm the type of person like I can execute very well. And so I was like, well, maybe like I can help you make audits. And like I started like cold messaging like all these businesses, right? Like I would literally like be like, okay, I'm gonna message like 20 businesses a day, right? And I'm like, or however many a day, and like we offer them. I remember we had like this, it was just like a basic camera whenever we first moved here, the one that he was using for like the businesses. And I was like, we'll like offer them a free video, or like see if we can get in the door. And like we went to so many businesses and we did so many things for free. And like I never thought that I would be where, like I was telling him the other day, like I never thought I would be a product photographer, like because I love it so much. But I was like, I never in a million years,
I was supposed to be a dentist,
thought it would have went this way.
My story on myself is crazy already, but I already knew how to use the camera a little bit because I had some
experience
already.
But her, she was like, she became a photographer overnight, like later. So she's even crazier because she wasn't supposed to do that. Like she just quit school, and then now like she's working with all these brands, and like now she's getting like all these like crazy things. Like she's such a good photographer now, where like I already had some experience. So now like she's at this level, and I'm like, wow, like it's crazy to think.
I think you do. I think when I started, I think I saw you because it's for the chicas. I don't know if it was Anaí or Giselle. I think one of them reposted you, and they're like, oh my God, you motivate me, and blah blah blah, right? And then I'm like, who's this girl, you know? And that's when I clicked on your profile, and I started like trying to see like how you were. But then I started seeing your stories, and I'm like, oh, okay, she gives me go-getter vibes, you know? And then we continue following her, you know? But I was gonna say, let's go on a quick break, and
we'll be right back.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Okay.
We are back. So what I was saying was that when I followed you, I got that, oh, she's a go-getter vibe, because you were like, I don't think you weren't doing 75 hard yet, but you were running or you were walking and you were doing it like on a daily basis, and you were recording yourself. I was like, man, how can she, like, because I'm camera shy, so like I feel like it's hard for me to record myself and talk. I feel like I only really do it like for my brand or for our nonprofit.
When you have to.
When I have to. Like, when I have to put something out there and I know it's too much to just type, then I'll do it.
So, you know? I guess, like, funny story. So, I actually had a, like, mental health coach that I worked with for, like, over a year. And I remember one of my big goals with her was, like, to grow my social media. And I remember, it's funny, like, thinking about how I am now, but, like, I was afraid to post a photo. Because I was like, what am I going to say? Like, what am I going to say? It's like almost like paralyzed, right, in that fear. And I was like, well, what am I going to put as a caption? Like, what am I going to wear in the photo? Or like, like completely overthinking it. Yeah. And like, he remembers, and I was like, I really want to talk on my story. Like, I love when people do that. And like, you know, and I was like, I just want to do it so badly. And so like, I would try. And I remember the first time I got on my story, like randomly, I used like a filter and everything. And I just talking about journaling, and I don't know what I said. Just that the reason why like I love journaling or something, and like I recorded it like maybe 8 times, and I was like literally like shaking. Like you couldn't tell on camera, but I was like, I just talked on my story, right? Like so excited because it was like a huge win. Yeah. And then I just kept. I feel like with anything, because like, you know, like I get that a lot. Like a lot of people are like, oh, like how do you do that? Like how do you do like X, Y, or Z? And I just feel like it's a skill. Yeah. And it's just like the reason why you don't feel like you can do it is because you haven't like developed that skill, right? And like the more you do something, the more you can do it, right? Because I feel like now I get on and I'm like, I'm talking about how I make salsa, or I'm like making just different things, and it's just like I feel like I'm just talking to my friend.
Yeah, but I also feel like you have like the consistency in you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I feel like if you don't have that, like you don't have that drive to be consistent, then it just false, you know. Like,
and then I feel like sometimes people use like the excuse that like, oh, it's because I'm an introvert, or you know, whatever. But like, would you say like that correlates with it? Because I don't think so. I don't think like, because she's super extroverted, right? But she's like shy on camera. So I was wondering, like, would you consider yourself like introvert or not?
I think I'm like a mix of both. I feel like I recharge myself, because like introvert and extrovert is in a sense how you recharge yourself, right?
Yeah,
so like
based off the people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like whenever I'm like have a lot on my plate, I want to be alone. I want to be like in my little.
You're an introvert.
Yeah, and so like I feel like I'm introverted in that way, but I also feel like it gets confused a little bit because I think I'm very good with people. So like I can talk to people and like I feel like I have like a big energy, and so like I can bring it right when I need to. But obviously like depending on like what I'm doing or like what I'm around, because like, you know, obviously like sometimes I go to like I do weddings, for example, right? And like sometimes I go to weddings and I have to be really extroverted, right? Because I mean, if we're being honest, nobody wants like, hey guys, you know what I mean? Like,
fucking sucked.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? So like,
hopefully she's not watching this.
I want to give like.
I hope she's watching.
You're like, by the way. So like, I want to give my, you know, like they trusted me like for their special day, like they hired me, like I want to give them a great experience, right? Like I want to be like a family member by the end of the day. So obviously, like, it's a little bit past my threshold a little bit, especially because I'm dealing with so many different energies. So like I need a full day to recover after a wedding. Like,
I think that's what makes you that. I think that's what makes you like an introvert, but you just handle like the people really well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And then I guess like going back to your question, I really don't think it has anything to do with it, because I feel like when people like say like, for example, like, oh, I don't do that because like I'm an introvert, I almost want to be like, if I was being like completely blunt, like how long are you going to keep telling yourself that story?
Yeah.
Right? Because like you're putting yourself in this box, but like in a sense, yes, it's a box, but you're making it into a cage. Like you're enabling yourself about this, right? Yeah. Because like you could be anything, right? You could be XYZ. Like if it's okay to like say like, hey, I'm afraid to do this, right? Like I'm a little bit nervous. Like maybe this scares me, but I almost feel like I have the personality now, right? I haven't always been like this. And like, I love that you called me consistent, because I really struggle to be, I can be consistent, right? And most of the time I am, but like, I'm a normal human being. I'm having a human experience, and like, I struggled to be consistent. Like,
no, but see, that's
a lot of the times, you know,
like, you can be consistent, but that doesn't mean like every day. It means that like, you're being consistent, you fall off one, but you're getting back up the next.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like that's a skill too, right? Yeah. Like it's like you have to like develop, you know, because like, for example, I don't know like how long you've been following me, but I ran a marathon last year in June, and I injured myself while I ran my marathon. And like, so you don't know. Okay. No. So I ran, all right, love this story.
I've heard the story.
But every time it changes.
I'm like, kidding. That didn't happen.
No. But he's like a tiger did not chase her.
I get it.
We joke around because she's going to tear you apart. But
so I trained for a marathon for 5 months. And we went to San Diego, and like I was running my marathon. On mile 4, I tripped and I sprained my ankle. And I ran for 4 more hours, and I finished my marathon. And so like after that, like honestly, I went to a really dark place, because I was like, I kind of was like victimizing myself, because I'm like, okay, like I fell, I hurt my ankle, you know, like I felt like it was like this hero story. Like I got to the top of the mountain, then it's like you get to the top of the mountain, you realize like, oh my God, I'm in a valley still, right? And it's like, I didn't know how to pick myself up. Like I was like, I don't want to have to go through this all over again. Like I don't want to have to reinvent myself all over again. Like I just did this and I've done it like multiple times. Like how can I, right? Like, you know, it's like talking to the universe, like how can I do it again? There's no way, you know? Yeah. And it took me like, I want to say my ankle didn't start getting better till October, and I sprained it in June. So it took me like
last year?
In last year in June. Yeah. So it took me like 3-4 months to pick myself back up. And when I started picking myself back up, that's when I wanted to do 75 hard. And the reason why I did 75 hard is because I was like, I need to teach myself that I've done it. And even though I fell, right, literally, I can do it again. So that's why I did 75 hard, because I wanted to prove to myself that I could pick myself back up, right? But it's cool because, right, it's like, you know, being consistent, how I'm telling you, it's a skill. If this would have happened to me like a year ago, it probably would have took me a year to get back up, right? So it's like each time, like you go through these like, right, like obstacles that life brings you, it's like you get better and you get better and you get better at it, right? So like it's I feel like it's really something that it's like a muscle. Like you have to keep working on it, like you have to keep developing it, otherwise it goes away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because honestly, like I kind of
run a mile.
No, cause like like how you say it's a skill, like I feel like I had to teach myself like that same skill in the way that like I've been a creative like pretty much my whole life, like since 7th grade, you know, like but I jumped from like making music to like graphic design to videography, photography. I tried everything, and I'm just like, all right, I did like engagement photos, like what the hell was I doing, you know, but I did it, you know. Simone.
Hey,
were they good? That.
They're good. I was like, I took pride. Like I was like, I needed, if I'm gonna do something, it needs to be like really dope, you know.
Yeah.
And so I would like YouTube University, everything.
Absolutely, I love that phrase.
And so pretty much right now I'm a graphic designer, right? Mm-hmm. And I went to U of H. I took a graphic design class, and at that point, whenever I was taking the class, like I remember they were like, all right, for the first lesson is like make a house out of a circle, a triangle, and a square, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like I'm already doing like way past this, you know what I mean? And that's when I kind of like, I was like, all right, school's not like the way to go. I mean, I still graduated and everything, but so I pretty much built everything that I have now. I pretty much built it over the years. But when I say the skill and everything is just because like, even though I've been able to like work with different brands, work with different artists and stuff, I feel like I should be higher. I should be like doing more. And I'm just like, damn, that like I'm there hasn't hit for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly, and she knows, like I'm constantly like, man, fuck, like this shit's not working. Like what the fuck, you know, and I'm just like beating myself up. I would have those nights and stuff. And it wasn't until like this past year that ever since we did the podcast and like just building the connections and stuff, like it's what's like, all right, you know what, like we're building something. I can't be like having these mental breakdowns, you know, like just beating myself up because I haven't done what I want to do, because I'm doing more than what I've done the year before, you know what I mean? So it's like every year you're upgrading, you're succeeding or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's just it's a skill. It definitely is a skill. I guess that's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, and I've seen it. Like we've been together. This is gonna be in October. Is gonna be 14 years.
Oh snap!
Yeah, I think we're
so like half your life.
Yeah. yeah.
Literally, right? You're 28.
No, 29.
Oh, 29. Well,
yeah, but I met him when I was 15.
I went to her 15.
Everyone we know have been together for so long.
You weren't her escort. You were like the.
Nah, he was there with his ex, and I was there with my whatever.
Yeah, I snuck in.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'm not on the list, but
yeah, I know.
I'm here to claim my future wife.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, but Jazzy and Chris were one of the first couples we met that were like our age.
Oh, really?
And I think they're the same, but they're like a few months before us that they were together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I think they're longer. No, I think I think they beat us
by like a year.
No, I think they're like 11 years, right?
No, I think it was the same year. And then I think it was the same year, but they were like a few months more than us. Because I was like
they've been together longer?
Yeah, they've been together a little bit longer than us.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of their married time then maybe.
Oh, okay. No, we've been together 13, but we got married in...
okay, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The owners of Athletic Empire, Ariel and Eddie, they're the same. They've been
together
they did
like, they say that too.
Yeah. So all our friends like...
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, we didn't go to the same high school.
We weren't even in the same city. Or town.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But no, yeah, like I love it. Like I love to see when like couples have been together a long time, because it's not a thing. You know what I mean? Especially when you're young, when people are that is a skill. Like you
can I just say that nobody tells you how hard. No, well, first of all, nobody tells you how hard it is to be an adult.
Yeah,
and, like,
for sure.
And like, you know, especially like if you have like your own business. I was talking about this yesterday on my story. Like, it's hard to be an adult. It's hard to be married. It's hard to, right? It's like, it is a skill, right? Like you have to develop all these things, and like there's no like, hey, here's how to do life. Like this be a big thick book. Like, hey, here it is.
Yeah, like no, you're literally like going through it as it's happening to you.
Yeah, you're just like thrown in, and then they're like, okay, figure it out.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out.
And everyone's figuring it out.
I think that's what's like hard to, or it has been challenging for me to accept, is that like when I don't have it all together, right? Because I feel like coming from like a super planning, I'm not anymore. I'm like, you know, I've gotten away from it a little bit, but like I used to always be like, oh, like my life is mapped out. You know what I mean? Like I have a plan. This is what's gonna happen.
You used to like to have control.
Yeah, like I used to like have control, and now I'm like, I have none.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like
Oh no.
It's just I wake up and I'm like, oh, this is happening today. All right.
Well, one of the things, I think you said it. I don't know if it was you who said it. That it was one of those things where it's like, I think it was you, and you're like, because I think they were asking, how are you still doing the 75 hard? And I think you said something like, I don't even focus about tomorrow. I'm just focusing today. Yeah. And I was just like, and I think I had told you about it.
Yeah, then, it was something like, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, but it was basically like, I saw that and I'm like, man, you're right.
It's
like,
great advice, yeah.
And because for me, like, I almost died during COVID because internally bleeding. Yeah. And it was one of those things that it was thrown our way and we're like, what the heck is happening?
Because you got it?
No, I didn't have COVID.
Okay.
So
it happened right before like the shutdown.
Yeah, if it was during COVID, I probably would have died because it was just like I was working out. I never used to drink coffee. Like I used to be like I would drink teas all the time. Like never coffee or an energy drink. It was teas. And then I used to think I was so healthy, right? And then basically I was like internally bleeding. I had no idea. And I was like, and my stomach would hurt right here. Like, it was hurting for like a month. And we would make jokes like, oh, tienes un pedo atorado. Like, you have like
you have gas
or something. Yeah. Or you're probably hungry. Until one day I was like, oh my God. Like, I drank coffee because I just felt so drained, And I went to the restroom too, and it was like, black, basically, like coffee grains. So if y'all do number 2 and it's coffee grains, go to the hospital.
Coffee grounds.
Coffee grounds, sorry.
Coffee grains.
Coffee grounds. Go to the hospital because that's not okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's internally bleeding. And I didn't know that. And I thought it was because I had drank coffee, right?
So was it from drinking a lot of teas or?
No, it was just
like a random
1 in a billion. And because I woke up after the surgery, I woke up and the guy's like, you need to go play the lottery because this shouldn't have happened to you. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. It was the whole experience literally could take a whole episode talking about it.
I think we talked about like 3 or 4 episodes, but it's a long story, but it's super crazy. Yeah.
I feel like that happened and we already had our son, And I remember when I woke up, like, when I was okay already, I almost died twice because they weren't giving me blood and I was losing blood.
Oh my goodness.
It was just a chaos, basically. And I remember when I woke up and I saw my son, he didn't recognize me because of all the liquids that they were giving me, And then I think, like, over the time, I feel like I forgot how lucky I was to, like, be able to survive that, And then I saw you say the whole, live today and just don't focus on tomorrow, focus on today. And I was just like, man, you're right. Like, because you never know. Because to me, it happened on a Friday. I was coming home, like, ready to, check my air fryer because it was brand new. And I didn't even have the energy for that, because
it's weird how, like, sometimes we forget to be, like, so in the moment, right? Like, we're always, like, just, like, thinking about other things. And, like, I feel like when you want to, like, live in the present, you have to be really intentional and be like I read this book, The Power of Now, and one thing that he always says is, like, be here right now. So, like, whenever I feel like because how sometimes we go, like, we're overwhelmed or, like, we're stressed or, like, we're worried about bills or, like, we're thinking about our to-do list, like, sometimes like I'll feel that and I start feeling, like, a little bit inflamed in my body and I'm like, no, be here now, like, be here right now, right? Because, like, if you think about it, everything happens right here in this moment, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen when we leave here on our way home. Like, the drive here, it's gone. All we have is, like, right now, like, in this moment, talking to you guys. That's all we have, right? And, like, whenever we think about the past, at one time, that was the present. So, like, all we have is right now to focus on. So if you think about it, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, all these things that, like, you're worried about or you're stressed about, like, they really don't matter. You know what I mean? Because, like, even think about, like, something that you were stressed about, like, last week. What about now? It happened. It's over. It was okay. And it's done.
No, yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Because we dealt with that a lot. Like, he used to hate doing finances. We do it, like, at the beginning and ending of every month. And he used to hate it. And I used to hate it because I knew he would hate it. But now it's just one of those things where, like, all right, well, we got it. We're going to figure it out. Whatever happens, happens, I feel like that's the mentality. Like,
do you guys know about the Disney, like, hug rule? Like, the hug rule in Disney?
No.
I just saw it on TikTok, but it kind of goes with, like, the being in the now thing.
Yeah.
Because our son, like, he'll, like, randomly be like, papi, and I'll be like, what, bro? Like, I'm
what,
like,
bro?
I'm like, I'm working, like, stuff like that. Like, you ever seen Click, the movie with Adam Sandler?
Yes.
You know how he's always, like, just a working dad, and it's that typical, like, later, I'll play with you later type, And I always told him, like, I never want to be that dad or whatever, but I catch myself in those moments, and sometimes, like, he'll be like, I just want to hug you. So, like, I'll hug him, and then I'm like, all right, bro, like go play, you know. And then it's like I send him off. So then I saw this TikTok, and it's like this it's this rule that Disney has where like when a kid hugs a character, like the character has to stay hugging the kid until the kid lets go, you know. So
I know, right? I was
so
like
then
that.
and then so some girl in like in the comments, she was like, oh, ever since I learned about this and we do it at home now, and I realize how much longer we hug as a family now because we don't let go first, you know. And so like I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, man, every time he hugs me, I'm always the one to let go first, like, or send him off, because I'm like, I gotta do shit, you know, like enough hugging, you know, like, you know. But I'm like, it kind of made me realize, like, damn, you do need to be in the now, you know, like you do need to like cherish those little hugs that he wants to do, and they might want to hug you longer than what you're, you know,
what we're giving them.
Yeah, like it's he's not dealing with stress like us, you know.
No, his
like
stress is cleaning his room.
Or like what time are we gonna play, because you know you've been working all day.
Well, so. You know what's interesting is that I feel like we are the only beings in like the universe that have like this false perception of time, right? Because like we have pugs, we have 2 beautiful little pugs at home, and so like if you were to ask a dog like what time is it, they would be like, what do you mean what time is it? It's now. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's it.
What are their names?
Chip and Rita, if you're watching.
Shout them out.
Chip and Rita.
Chip and Rita. Is it for the margarita or what?
No.
It's like a long, weird, I don't know, story. I don't even.
She's like, I don't
short,
know it.
like,
yeah, you
super
can say
short
it.
story. She started calling me Rito. Because
Arturo?
Well, because at my job in San Angelo, my boss was white, and she called me Churro. And not like racist or anything.
Okay.
She just called me Churro, and then she started calling me Churrito at home, and then from Churrito went to Rito, and then
her name was Donut.
Her name was Donut.
Like original, because we used to have like an obsession with donuts, and her name was Donut, and then I started calling him Rito, and then it just like we started calling her Rita, and then it just stuck, and like she wasn't and we were like, well, I guess this is her name now.
How long was she Donut for?
I don't know, maybe like a week or something. It was not that long because we just, you know how like you have like a billion names for like your partner, your dogs or what, you know, so it was just one of those things.
Yeah. Dogs are like, I guess there's no time and there's no name.
They're like, do I have a name?
I like donuts.
Names don't exist.
We love donuts here too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
The donut holes, my son calls them, he used to call them baby donuts.
Oh, really?
But now he calls them donut holes. He's
and I still call them baby donuts.
And we still call them baby donuts.
I might steal that.
Baby donuts.
Baby donuts.
Yeah.
That's her new name, baby donuts.
But it's weird because like if we were to call her like, because sometimes like, we think about it back now, I'm like, can you imagine, like she doesn't even look like a donut, you know what I mean? Like it's just weird to think
Sounds
about
weird,
that was her name.
Rita fits her better.
Yeah.
Her
and
she's
Chip,
like, what about him?
Why his name?
That was before me.
So,
he had a different dad.
Oh, shut up. So
Let's get into it.
No. I was a single pug mom in college. I was a single mom. I got him by myself. I think I was maybe like, how old am I? I was 20 when I got him. Oh, I like begged my mom. Yeah, I'm 28. He's gonna be 8 this year. He's gonna be 8 February 22nd.
It's like 56 or what in dog years?
Yeah.
He needs to get a job.
I know. He still lives at home with his parents. So
and the stepdad.
I know. I like begged my mom to get him. I was like in college and I was like, please, like, can I get a? Even I live like 8 hours away too, so like I totally got one. But I didn't have a job. I was just like in school, so I wanted a pug like so bad. I was like so like pug obsessed, and I got him. And I honestly named him Chip because I wanted something with 1 syllable. So just be like Chip, like Chip, like if I had to like say it out loud or like call him, it would be really easy to say. Because imagine if I was like Margarita, you know what I mean? Like it'd be so long.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, that's why I named him Chip. His name is actually Chip Cornelius Cano.
Oh my god.
I always use Cornelius.
Like, I know he always uses Cornelius.
Like I'm like triple C, triple threat. That's his name.
He's quadruple threat now.
Oh yeah, because his last name is Cerda, so Chip Cornelius Cano Cerda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you know.
So wait, you didn't change your last name when y'all got married?
I didn't, honestly, because it's a lot of paperwork.
When y'all got married?
When we got, because it's not.
Because you have to go and
because she had to change her passport.
And
stuff.
we were, so I was like, and then with, you know, like everything going on, I was like, it's gonna take forever. And like we try to go to Cancun like every year because we just really like and
my
it.
sister lives there.
And his sister lives there.
Shit.
Tell her to hook it up.
and so I was like, I'm gonna have to get a passport. I'm gonna have to get a license. you're gonna have to change all these documents. I just didn't want to do it. It was nothing like I didn't want to change my name. I was just
it doesn't bother me. I'm not attached to my
last name.
The last name. Like that?
No, because like the only reason I keep it is because of my dad and then my grandma. But the part of the family I don't really talk to.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen them in
years. Yeah.
I would have loved to have my mom's because that's a part of family that I see, and a bunch of them took care of me when I was little because they live in the U.S. and my mom was stuck in Mexico, so I lived with a few of them. So I would have rather have that last name. And I was thinking,
what's that last name?
Rizzo.
Yeah. I've never heard that last name.
I know. I don't.
I think it's Spaniard. It's from Spain.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's.
Yeah,
from
it's
over
a long story, but
all our stories are long.
everyone's stories are long. But I was thinking of switching it, but then like my sister got on to me and she was like, "You can't do that to your dad. He's gonna get his feelings hurt." And I was like, I don't know if he would, because I don't think he would care. But I was like, you know what?
You'd be surprised. You should
just make the last name create.
Yeah.
Well, did you know? Yeah, did you know that when you get married, you can choose your own name.
Yeah, like she made her last name. You want to say like your what your name used to be and what it is now?
Oh yeah, so my legal name used to be Evelin Roxana Luna, right? But I don't have like attachment to my last name either because it's my stepdad gave me that last name.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I mean, but I love my stepdad, right? But I didn't grow up with that side of the family either. I was just close to him when I was little, right? And then, but when I got married, I started working at a school, so they would call me Miss Luna. And I didn't want to be Miss Morales, like, because that's his last name. I really didn't. I don't like it, you know. He
Don't
knows.
touch me.
But it's one of those things that my family never had. We were never just the family Luna, like, because my mom had like we had different dads, me and my siblings, you know. So then I always wanted our family to have one last name. You know what I mean? So,
like your family?
Like my family, you know. So I didn't change it right away. I changed it right before I gave birth to Milo because I wanted to have the same last name as him.
I think that's what I would do.
Yeah. Literally, I changed it like I was pregnant over there signing.
You're like about to pop. You're like, I just need to get this done legally.
I changed everything in June, and he was born in July because I just didn't want to deal with.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, like I didn't want to deal with that, you know. So I was like, all right, I want him to be Baby Morales because that's his name, you know. And I respect his whole family, really. Like his dad. Literally, that's the only reason why I was cool with it. Like, him and his dad, like, they carry the name, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not one of those whatever, like you know? And then, but on Instagram, he was always Rollie Vogues. So my Instagram became Evelin Vogues. And then Milo's Instagram became Milo Vogues.
Oh, he has one too?
Yeah, but it's private.
Yeah.
So,
I like the last name.
Yeah, so... He was known as Rollie Vogues, right? So then I was just like, I was having that identity thing too, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm just gonna change it to Evelin Vogues, you know.
Your real name?
No.
On Instagram.
Oh, okay, so that's not your last. That was just your IG name.
Yeah, it's just
that
IG.
That's
what I go by.
That's what he goes by.
Oh, okay.
By Rollie Vogues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know that. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So then mine, I changed it like years ago too, and I was like Evelin Vogues. So when we made his account, it was Milo Vogues, and then should I
change mine to Brit Fit Creates?
No, so then basically we became the Vogues family. So now we carry like that last name. So people meet us and they think that's our last name.
That's cool.
Because we don't have that, like we don't have our names on social media. Like even my Facebook doesn't have Morales. You know what I mean? Because I don't really like people just randomly finding me and stuff like that. But it's whatever.
That's not the story I was gonna ask you to tell. That's a cool story, you know. But
well, what story?
The story of your actual last name, because she was saying that you can like create any name. So I was gonna say that her last name was Luna. It was Roxana Luna, and then she got rid of the Roxana, made the Luna the middle name.
Oh yeah, I made it.
And then she made.
So
Morales,
now I'm Evelin Luna
so like,
Morales.
Yeah. So like her middle name is Luna.
Yeah, that's my middle name.
Oh, so you just dropped the other one?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You're like, no, this isn't serving me anymore.
Well, it's because I never used it.
One of my aunts did that with my cousin. because he was gonna lose the last name because you get the guy's last name first. Yeah. So his name is his middle name is Rizzo, so he put Jose Rizzo Lugo. No, Jose Juan Rizzo Lugo Rizzo.
So long.
I think that's his name. Something like that. But
Rizzo twice?
Yeah, he's I think his middle name is Rizzo.
I like that name.
And then
there's a rapper named Rizzo.
And in case he didn't use the Rizzo anymore because he had to use Lugo, because in the US you don't use. Yeah. So now he can have it on there.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So mine is I'm always like, if I go back to working at a school, it's like, oh, Miss Luna, because that's what like I'll just be like, oh, it's Luna, you know. But because of Milo now they're like, oh, Miss Morales. So I'm just like,
you just have like 3 names.
Yeah. So but people like on social media, they think it's Vogues, which y'all can keep calling me Vogues because I like that name.
But we're gonna go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
And we are back. So getting back into you guys, let's talk about the now, since we emphasize then right now.
Yeah, because I want to know what you guys are working on, like what it is that you guys are currently doing, you know, everything. So
okay.
What are y'all currently working on right now?
I've been talking a lot. You go first.
Currently, I think right now, I mean, working with obviously making Mas like the biggest energy drink that it could be. So I do Mas, and then I do Athletic Empire for the social media. So right now they're getting into a bigger facility. I think it's gonna be 4 to 5 times bigger than what it's now. So I do the social media. So just making, you know, one of my goals this year was like all my clients make the best social media they can have, you know, grow their social media, so their social media grows, more clients, more memberships, hopefully. So that's my goal. And then, as you saw my story today, trying to be more present in my socials to grow my all my platforms, because I feel like if I grow, then my business grows and then my clients grow. So doing that, we have some financial goals that we want to hit. What else?
I think also just like really getting good on like financial health, like how we were talking about like being an adult, like nobody teaches you how to like, you know, have like credit cards and like pay your bills, and then like, you know, like the bills that come with the business. So like I feel like one of our main goals this year too is like to like work on our financial health, like build our credit even more, just like to create like more opportunities for ourselves, you know, and like also create like different streams of like passive income, and like trying to figure out like what we want those to be, because I feel like we are so hands-on in what we do, and like say for example, if we're not out working, we're not making money. You know what I mean? So like, and we love what we do, but like we're trying to figure out a way to like level up ourselves financially, you know what I mean? Whether it's like hiring someone and then like they're taking on like a piece of the load, or like, so we're trying to figure out kind of like what we want to do in that aspect.
I'm in the spot of like, I love creating, and this year I want to get better at like creation, like my color grading, all that kind of stuff. But I think one of my goals now this year is like, we're blessed to be where we are. But I think instead of focusing so much on the creator part, I like the business side. So I want to see how I can grow that as well. So like be as a business person too, like she said, like hire somebody to be editing and create like the agency to be bigger. So I can, because I still want to do the things that I do now, like Maz, gym, and like those personal things that I love doing. But if in case I have a wedding or have like
because you're only one person,
a project, like I can still work. I can be part of the project, but I have somebody that's helping me with the project, you know. So I can, you know, do more.
Yeah. You're saying you're 5 people?
Yeah, I'm like 5 people in one. It's crazy.
That's women language right there.
Absolutely.
I can definitely relate.
Right there. Yeah, I feel like I've been stepping more into that, because sometimes I like think I'm like, dang, like how do I do all this? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it's like kind of increasing that too, right? Because like I feel like whenever I think, like, you know, like you see these people on like social media, and it's like, how are they performing out this like top level, right? Like I see some people, and like they have like, maybe they're like a fitness influencer, right? And then they have like this other business, and like that account has like 100,000 followers, and then they have like, it's like a mom, right? And they have like, there is something that just like really, I feel like maybe because I'm getting older and like I see myself like having like, I just want one child, just to clarify, a kid of my own. Did you say?
A girl.
Yeah, we're having a girl, just that's it. And it's I already put it out there, you know, and like being like a mom, right? Because it's like you just step into, and obviously I don't know, right? But like you just step into like so much like of a different person. Obviously I know you do a lot too. I'm not, you know, but it's like the weight that you carry and like you're doing all these things, but then like on top of that, right, like having a business, and like I'm like so impressed by like these women, right? And it's like I see myself in them too, and like I want to be able, like I see them doing these things and I'm like, well, if they can do it, like I can too, right? Because it's like I see myself being like this like top level performer, because I work with Anabar and I'm like their full-time like content creator. Like everything you see, have you guys tried them?
Yeah, I tried them because
because of the event, right? Yeah, because we got them to be sponsored by the event. Yeah. Okay, so you tried them too?
I haven't.
You haven't?
She don't
okay, yeah, world's best tasting protein
it's
bar.
so funny because I bought them and I don't even know. I don't even think he knows where they're at.
You're like, they're hidden. They're in a different box.
They're in the chip area, and I know he doesn't go to the chip area.
Okay, try them and let me know. They're like super delicious. So like everything you see for Anabar is like most on the page. Like I create all the content.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, what you say?
Or me.
Or if like there's a video that's not a phone reel, it's art.
I'm 2% of on over.
And then like for Moss, like I take all the photos because it's like we're together. And then I actually just finished a project up for Alphalete.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so my big goal by the end of this year is I would like to become a full-time product photographer. Like as photography, like don't get me wrong, I love doing like engagements and like weddings, but I want this year to be my last year of weddings. I kind of just want to like get in, like get my money and like get out for weddings, because I do enjoy it, but there's nothing that fulfills me more than like
passion for that.
Yeah, like I like live and breathe product photography. Like it just fills me up so much, and I love it so much because I feel like I'm bringing someone's dream to life. Like I'm bringing their product to life, right? Because it's like marketing is everything, right? Because like you can have this amazing product, but like if you don't know how to market it, what is it?
Yeah.
Right? It's like you have to like put it out there for like the world to see it, and like how are you showing it to the world? You know? And so I just love it so much, and like the introvert in me like loves to like be in my little work cave, and like I'm just creating, like in a sense like there's no rules, right, to like creativity. You're just like in there. I'm like figuring it out like my own way. YouTube University, like how you said, looking up different things and like trying to get better at it all the time. And so, and I'm actually working with another brand. It's called Dumbbell Donuts. I'm like,
is that the one that Lego bought the shirts?
Nah. Well, I don't know.
I don't think they have. They're like brand new. They just launched a month. This month they just launched this January 11th, so like
a few days ago.
Yeah, like 8 days ago or something like that. So I started working with them too. So I'm like, I've been like attracting like all these opportunities to myself, right? So I'm like, all right, time to step it up. Like I got to keep learning. I got to keep like growing in this aspect, because I just love it so much. So I'm really focused on building like my personal brand with like product photography. And I also want to build up myself, like my own personal brand, like Brittney. And I would like to, so there's one thing that I'm working on that I'm not going to say, but just know that I'm working on something.
You can say it.
I'm not going to say it, but I'll tell you one thing. But like, I want to come out with a course this year, basically like teaching people like how to be unstoppable. Like I feel like as I've come about my own mental health journey, like there are just so many things that like I had to figure out like the hard way, which like I'm very grateful for, right? Like all of these like healing and like all these different lessons that I had to learn along the way. Yeah. And I want to like build something, because I actually went to...
That could be your passive income.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So like I'm figuring out a way to like build myself up, and like I feel like I have such a powerful voice, so it's like figuring out, right, like just like a product, like how do I want to share myself to the world? How do I want the world to see me?
And what was the name you said that you were branding it?
Be Unstoppable.
Okay, is Unstoppable B or just Unstoppable?
I feel like whenever
because you have Unstoppable B, right?
So that was like it's kind of weird, right? Like how everything came together. Not weird, but like really cool to like look back. But I feel like whenever I ran my marathon, I proved to myself that like I was unstoppable. And like whenever I was running, I would like, you know, it's like you get this like confidence in yourself and you're like thinking, I'm freaking unstoppable. You know what I mean? And then like, so I would put like unstoppable B. And then whenever I was making my cardboard sign for 75 hard, whenever because my goal was I wanted to put like I completed 75 hard, and then I was like making the sign in the car, and then on the back I was like, what if I put be unstoppable? And I was like, oh my god, like that's so freaking cool. And so yeah, like I almost feel like that's why I'm here. Like, I feel like I had to, like, learn and go through all these, like, obstacles and, like, trials. And, right, like, I'm still learning to, like, do all these things to be unstoppable in my own way. And, like, I want to, like, teach and guide other people to, like, believe in themselves that they can be the same.
I can see that.
You know? So, like, I feel like that's, like, a really big thing that I'm working on this year because it just means so much to me, you know? And, like, I felt like it's crazy to look back because I remember I used to tell my friend, Ari, I remember whenever we were talking, this was like 3 years ago now, like I was like, I want to figure out a way to like help people and like teach them like these different things. And like this was at a time when I was like struggling like so much with my mental health, like it was just like so much darkness. And I remember, and she was like, well, you know, like you just gotta like keep going, like you just gotta keep trying. And that was like before I had my coach that I was telling you about. And after I worked with her, it's just been like a slow unfolding of like who I'm supposed to become.
Yeah.
And so it's been really cool because I feel like I've just been like sticking myself in the fire, like trying to figure out, right? Because like I ran the marathon, I'm like, whenever I signed up for the marathon, I remember I was like watching YouTube videos of like Nick Bear's like marathon prep, like a week after I signed up, and I'm like, yo, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I was like, I haven't told anybody yet. I already paid to sign up, right? And then I was like, as soon as I tell my friends, I got to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I was like, it happened, right? And then I did it, and then it was like, okay, well, I did that, so like, what else can I do? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like figuring out, because I mean, I feel like so many of us don't understand like how like infinite we are. Like there's this guy that I listen to, and his name is Joe Dispenza, and he's like a spiritual teacher, and I listen to his meditations, and one thing that he always says is that like we are gods in the flesh. And I love it so much because like we are so powerful, like we are so unstoppable, but like you don't know unless you try. Like, you know, think about it, like whenever we moved here a few years ago, like I mean, I've been like you see me, it's weird to like see me now because like, you know, like I get a lot of messages like from people, and I'm really grateful, but like there was a time in my life where I didn't want to be here anymore. Like I didn't have like any will to live, and like it was just, I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna make it to tomorrow, right? Like I can barely get through today.
Yeah.
And so like to look back and be like, how did that version of me get here? Right? It's like it's kind of like weird to think about sometimes because like I just kept showing up. You know, like I didn't give up. Like there was always hard times, like there was always obstacles, but I just like found a way to keep going, you know? And it's like, well, I got here from there, so like how much farther can I go?
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
No, I can definitely see you doing the course. I feel like I've seen a few girls like repost your stuff and say how motivational, like how much motivation you bring to them, you know? And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, because it very much goes with you.
Yeah.
Like just you,
it's like that's all you are.
Yeah, like right now you're like radiating like you know, motivation. It's like leaking on me.
Hey, I'm like, sorry, let me just wipe it off. Let me just wipe it off.
We're gonna go run a few miles of this.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that. You know, I'm happy for you, and I want to see that like come about. You know, is it tatted on you yet? It's coming.
What you put greatness, right?
So, I guess I have like a few tattoos. So I have B, right? I have B, and then after I finish, so I did with like can't talk. I had my coach for a year, and then so she like specializes called NLP. So I actually went to 2 NLP courses. So I'm like technically certified to be like, it's like I don't like this word. It's like I feel like it's like a generic term, but like life coach. Like I am like certified, right, in a sense. And so I got this, and it says I want to thank me. Because I feel like I really want to thank myself for all the things that I put myself through. And then after I ran my marathon, I got greatness. Because I felt like my tattoo was almost like my reward for finishing. Because I think one of my favorite podcasters, it's called The School of Greatness, but he says greatness is, what is it? Hold on. I don't want to butcher this. Greatness is, wait.
Let me look it up. I have it tattooed, so let me look it up. Right?
I just have.
I was gonna ask you, do you watch Mel Robbins or no?
I do. I read her book. I read The High Five Habit.
Oh, okay.
And that was a really good book.
I didn't read the book, but I watch your podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I tell him, do you watch her too or no?
I'm all looking for her.
I watched a few episodes.
Yeah, like I tell him, I'm like, I like her just because I'm a very, like, my personality, I feel like on Entre Nos, like the other podcast, like I feel like I can come off strong because I just don't have time to baby people because I'm just like, no, like you have to figure this shit out regardless, you know? It's just like, nobody can get you out of that, you know, that box other than yourself. And that's my mentality, right? Because I've experienced it myself, like where I'm just like, well, I got to do it for myself, right?
Yeah.
But I guess I've never really thought about, like how you said, like I like to thank myself for getting to where I'm at now, you know, because at the end of the day, I never even think like back, like, and I do think like, oh wow, like I can't believe I was there and now I'm here. But I think like that, but I never think like, oh well, thanks to me, you know, like I'm here where I'm at now, you know.
Yeah, I think something we're gonna try to do more is like celebrate our wins, because like we get caught up of like what's next, like everyone's doing this, I need to start a new business, I need to start this new thing, but like for example, like you guys like have so much going on with the podcast, like, you know, every episode maybe you should celebrate, you know, after, because it's a new
cheers
with
the water and the mask energy.
It's you know, it's a new another step that's gonna get you closer to maybe where you're gonna go.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I also feel like, really fast, the quote is, greatness is not who you are but who you believe you can become.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't gonna butcher it, by the way. I just was like, I'm not sure. But I like the celebration and kind of to lean on that. She has a book called The High Five Habit, and like basically what you do is you high five yourself in the mirror like every day, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of her talk about that?
I heard her talk about that.
Okay, have you heard of it? Okay, so I guess like real quick, so it's basically because it's like, if you think about it, you think back like in your life, like why do you get high fives? You get high fives like you're on a sports team. It's like, oh, high five, you did a great job, right? It's like a term of celebration. It's like, how often do we as humans like celebrate ourselves? Like I had put a question box on my story, and I was like, how do you celebrate yourself? And like there were so many answers that were like, oh, I don't, or like, oh well, I don't celebrate myself, I just move on to the next thing. And I was like, it's crazy, but like it's so normalized, like we're just like, oh, right, because it's like, you know how you said, like we see other people like doing all these things, but like how often do you really stop to like celebrate yourself? Like even like as you are now, like you don't have to be doing anything like super crazy to like what someone else's standards are. Like you're worthy of celebration every day of your life.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Like you wake up and that's a celebration. Wake up and
high five yourself, right?
Yeah.
In the mirror.
And like I used to put things on my mirror and be like I love you, Brittany, like I'm so grateful for you because, but like to myself. And like I would high five myself, and then I would be like look in the mirror, because it's challenging to look at yourself in the mirror, like do mirror work if you never have. Like you ever look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I fucking love you, like I love you just as you are.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
I've never done that. Yeah,
you should try it. Like,
have you tried it?
Yeah, actually, I didn't read the book, but I listened to the book.
Oh,
and
okay.
I did too. Yeah,
I did it for the time that I was listening to the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
how did that make you feel?
It was weird because like, look, it's true. Like whenever I do my hair stuff, I brush my teeth. Like, I look at myself, but I'm not really looking into myself. Like
we have like a mirror face that we do, right? It's like you like walk by and you're like, you know what I mean? Like you do like a certain face.
Not mine.
Okay, I don't do like that or whatever. Everybody does.
You definitely flex at the mirror.
Yeah.
He's like.
But no, yeah, it's weird. Like telling yourself that. Exercise science. Yeah, it's a weird thing to do, but I mean, it kind of like.
Yeah.
But why is it hard, right? I'm telling you, like, girl, if I'm recording myself, I'm literally already like, damn, why does my face look like that?
Yeah.
Why does my mouth move like that? You know, like, it's just like, we are our biggest critics, right? So why not be our biggest, like, person to tell ourselves. Yeah,
like support her. Yeah, and you know what's funny is like what you just said. Whenever I was practicing my speech for the Provocative podcast,
okay, I was gonna ask if you were super nervous before that.
I was not nervous at all. I was nervous like 5 minutes before I was gonna go on. But I was writing my speech, and then like I was practicing sitting down in the mirror with a water bottle, with an empty water bottle, because I was like, I'm gonna be holding a microphone. And I was like, man, like why do my lips keep moving? Like, because I noticed that like whenever I get really excited, like my lips get smaller. But it's like it's crazy because like we're so negative sometimes to ourselves, and it's like you're the only person that you have. You are with yourself your whole life. You've been with yourself for 29 years or 26.
Yeah, you're right on. Yeah.
21.
29 years. Like, we are so deserving of loving ourselves. You know, and it's like
do you also feel like social media plays a part of that? Like you know, you see all. I feel like I'm pretty good at not comparing myself, because I know that whatever I lived in my life, like, it doesn't compare to what other people's lived. They probably had it worse or whatever. And I think to myself, like, I try not to compare, but we do that naturally, you know. And I don't ever, I have a kid, so I never think like, damn, okay, well, our friend Jessica Lynn, I don't know if y'all know who she is. She's like a fitness. Well, she
just pass her up, like,
I know, she put her finger in this one.
Go down to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's had 2 kids, and I'm just like, well, damn, her body looks really good. You know, like you could tell she just bounced. I don't even want to say bounce back, because I know she put in the work for it. You know what I mean? And even at that, like, I don't even think to compare myself, but I still like judge myself, because I'm just like, well, it's on me. I should be the one putting in the work. Nobody's gonna put it in like for me. But I still sometimes don't put it in. Like, I don't show up for myself like I should.
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes we struggle as humans to get to that point. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then honestly, like the whole time you guys are talking about like the small wins and everything, I thought about Kobe, right? So like a lot of people practice like the whole Mamba mentality. And it's like the total opposite of the celebrating the small wins, because his whole thing was like what's there to celebrate? Like, I need to do more work. So I feel like it depends on the person, or it depends on
absolutely
like what their work revolves around. So it's like athletes are usually like Mamba mentality, like, okay, I won this game, like I need to put in more work, practice more, whatever. But when it comes to like, let's say like just us creatives or regular people, like, I feel like we need the...
Hey, I'm not regular, I'm great.
Great
just
people.
to clarify,
what was it they said? Like the gods? What is it?
Oh, gods in the flesh.
Gods in the flesh. Us gods in the flesh right now, right? But like, yeah, we need like the small win celebrations, because I feel like it's a daily battle. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's like, be grateful for that win. Because even as an athlete, like, it's just like, yeah, there's that mentality like, oh, I know I just won this, but I want what's next. Well, no, because if you would have lost that, you would have just wanted that win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you have to kind of take a few steps back and be like grateful, thankful for anything.
Yeah, and it's more like enjoying like the day to day, because
for sure.
What happens whenever you get the car, you get the money, you get the house, you get everything, and then what's next? Like, you're always gonna be wanting more. So might as well enjoy the journey, because that's what people actually enjoy, probably, like the journey of getting there. And once you're there, I mean, it's nice, but since you have that mentality, you want more, so you're probably gonna do more. So might as well just enjoy the small wins every day.
It's like when people retire.
Yeah,
you know, like you always need something to do. Like people retire, and I feel like they end up,
our neighbor.
Yeah, like he's like very like, he's retired, but he's very like every day he's out there. Like he needs to do something. You know, like
I told Brett that even after like once we like make it like I still probably gonna be working on something, because I don't see myself, you know,
never
being 40, 50 years old and like not doing anything, just being
like, let's say like y'all go to like, I mean, well, I'm not gonna use Cancun because that's like y'all's place, right? But like, let's say you go, what's a place that y'all would go to like to celebrate something big other than Cancun?
Chili's.
But like, let's say like you've made it, you've like had you have all the money, all the cars, the house and everything, and now you're gonna go somewhere. It's like, what's there to celebrate at that point? Like, it's like, okay, I'm just here because I'm bored. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know, I feel like people really underestimate the power of like gratitude. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, like you need to, it's become a box you need to check off. Like, it's like, oh, you need to list things that like you're grateful for, you know? And like, I felt like at the beginning of like my, like mental health journey, like I was like, I would get a journal, right? And I was like checking all the boxes off, like, oh, okay, like I need to write gratitude. And I was like, oh, 3 things that I'm grateful for. And like, although there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like I do think it's important to like bring it into your awareness. I feel like it was a lot different when I cultivated the awareness within myself of like, what am I really grateful for? You know, because like you're saying like made it, right? Like I already feel like I made it because like I'm already in that moment. I'm already extremely like, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that I have right now. Like I already made it. I never thought that I would get here. Like I made it already. And I feel like whenever you're like able to like get in this mentality of like, I have everything that I could ever need. Do you ever notice how like everything you've like, opportunities just start flooding like to you? It's like you get your, I feel like with gratitude it's like this like super secret that like nobody wants to share, but it's like when you're able to get yourself to this like extreme, and I mean like truly understanding like what gratitude is, it's like you get yourself to like a vibrational match and like everything becomes yours because you're already there, right? Because it's like that's what we don't learn, right? Like in school or these different things is like the life that you are like dreaming of living. It's so easy to get, but what's hard is making yourself a vibrational match for that life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, what are you complaining about? Because I mean, like, if you're complaining, can you be grateful? No, they cannot coexist.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you vibrating at that you don't even realize? Like, you know, it's like everything is energy, right? Like with like money and everyone's like, energy is currency and currency is energy, right? Is that how it goes? Or is there frequency? There's some quote, something like that. But it's like, even like with like finances, right? It's like you make what you believe you're worthy of receiving.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like that with your life. Like you're living the life that you believe that you're worthy of receiving.
Yeah, it's like with us, with our brands. I had seen that it's like we're like, our brands are small brands. So it's like we don't order like a big quantity, you know? But it's like how do you expect to make $100,000 with your brand if you're not ordering $100,000 worth of clothes or whatever, you know what I mean? So if you're like always like ordering like 50 shirts or whatever, like a small amount, it's like that's the limit you're setting for yourself. Like, all right, well, with these 50 pieces or whatever, this is all I'm gonna make off of that, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like that. You gotta believe you can make more, you can expand more, whatever. Just it's limitless, you know?
Yeah. And I agree with the whole energy thing though. Like you have to have like that positive energy, the good energy, like because I feel like that's how I feel. Like I told Roland, I'm like, I'm ending 2023 feeling good. So I'm gonna start 2024 feeling good. I'm not thinking like, oh, I can't wait till 2024 starts. I'm done with 2023. No, like I'm ending my year great. And that's how I'm gonna start 2024. And I feel like we did start like that, you know. That
was like a first, because every end of the year it was like,
oh, I can't wait till
like we can't afford these Christmas gifts for like our family. Let's just get the kids something like. Yeah. But this year we were like, you know what? Like with this last year we were like, you know what? Let's fucking buy some shit for everybody. And then us doing that like made us feel really good about ourselves. And we went. It kind of like spilled over to this year, and it's like we started the year like badass. Then we did like a fucking the toy drive and everything.
We have a nonprofit, right, where we go to Mexico and we do like a toy drive over there. Cool. So this is our 4th year doing it, and we always do it in January. So it's always a great way to start the year.
That's awesome.
To give back, like, and it's just like it's 300 kids, like 300 plus, like a bunch of stuff that we do, you know. And I always tell them, but I just feel like this. I always used to like just look forward to that. But now I'm just like, oh, I started the year great. Like, I feel great. Like, and I'm just going to keep feeling great. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But let's go on a quick, this will be the last break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay. And we are back.
I totally forgot what we were talking about.
I remember because I was going to add to it.
Yeah. She's a 5 people person, man.
Oh, that's when you were like, oh, don't let me forget.
Okay, yeah. So you were saying the 50 shirts thing, and like, obviously, like if you want to grow, like you're having a business, like you should be buying like 100 shirts or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So one idea that I've been like, I guess like contemplating with is because I feel like there's like this like, oh, be delusional, right? But then like there's always like this dichotomy of like, oh, you need to be realistic, right? So one, know that if someone tells you to be realistic, that's their projection onto you, right? So like if I'm like, no, you should not buy 100 shirts, it's because if I bought 100 shirts, I don't think I could sell it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a projection, right?
Okay.
So I feel like
it's important.
It's important. So I feel like when you set a goal, it needs to be huge, because the person that's setting that goal is not the person that achieves that goal. Okay? Mm-hmm. You have
like future me or something.
Yeah, so you set this goal and it's like, I'm fucking scared. Like, right, I did not run. I was not a runner, anything. And I'm like, but somehow on June 4th, I'm going to complete that marathon. I don't know how, right? That's not my job to know how. I just surrender and I take action every single day and I'm going to get there, right? And I completed it. So it's like, you know, like these goals that I set for myself this year, I'm like, I have no idea how the fuck I'm going to do that. I have no idea. I just know that it's going to happen, right? And I'm like, it's the universe's job to create the how, right? And it's like, sure, we're going to get these obstacles, right, that are going to come our way. Because you said something, I can't remember, but it's like, oh, you said whenever you had quit your job, you were like, oh, it wasn't like this magical story that like this like
it worked out.
It just worked out, right? But like you weren't that person yet. It didn't work out for you at that time because you still had obstacles to go through. You had to, right? Because like, yeah, you had this big goal over here, but like you weren't ready to achieve that goal, right? It's like there's also this saying like you should become a millionaire just for the skills that you develop along the way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, think about how many skills you need to pick up to become a millionaire, right?
I know. I think Moy told us that, right? Like, he's like, he's like, what would you do if God literally just placed like $1 million? Was Moy, right?
It must have been Moy, yes.
That said, like, what would you do if he would give you $1 million right now?
Yeah, like you
wouldn't. And then
you wouldn't
imagine in 5 years, like it's a different person, basically. Like,
yeah, like
it's just like you're not ready for it, you know?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, okay, because you're talking about goals and how if people tell you be realistic, I tell him be realistic, you know, but not because I'm just like, I don't think he can accomplish them, but sometimes like with the subscribers, we reached 1,000, right? And his goal was like, we're gonna reach 1,000 like in December. And then I'm just like, I don't know, my goal is 500. Like I feel like realistically, I don't think that we couldn't, because we probably could, but I'm just being like, I didn't want to set myself for failure to think like, okay, I can't reach 1,000 because. But then it's just like, that's something that's kind of like out of your control.
Yeah.
Because how can you like...
Yeah, and then like, you bring that up. That's why I said it's important, porque she like... I
Be careful with what you're
say. I set crazy goals, and then...
They're crazy goals,
and
right?
then she'll be like, oh, you know, it's because you're gonna like disappoint yourself if you don't reach that shit. Which it does disappoint me, but then it pushes me. I'm like, all right, well, I need to fucking do something, you know, to make this shit work.
But that doesn't mean, like, not that I don't believe that he can reach
but then you're like that with me, and then I'm like that with my brother, because my brother has his own brand too, and then he's the one that's like, hey bro, I'm just gonna, like, I'm playing it safe with my brand. Like, I'll do pre-orders, or I'll order like a small batch or whatever. But my brother's like, hey, I'm ordering 50 shirts, and you know, and I'm like, bro, first check with the screen printer and see if they're able to do what you want to do. You know, like I'll like take them back a step.
But then, technical side
of it. But then like he comes out with like some crazy shorts or whatever that I didn't think I would be able to do, and he did it. But I'm over here like fucking tearing them down. I'm like, not tearing them down, but I'm being like, hey, think about what you're gonna do before you do it, you know. But then he's over here doing shit that I didn't think was possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you're that person to me, and I'm that person to him. You know.
I think like
I got after you.
You have to set a goal, and like, for example, when we first moved here,
we're the same person.
We set a goal of making 100,000 the first year. It's a crazy goal. Because I was working, I was not making that much, and she was making that much serving. Together, our income was 30,000, I think, for the whole year. Nothing, almost nothing.
I know what's coming. I know what you're gonna say.
We were like, okay, by the end of the year, we're gonna make 100,000. myself back then, I was like, okay, 100,000. I was like,
how the fuck, right?
How the fuck? There's no way. Yeah. But we have something to aim at. So I was like, okay, now we might not hit 100,000, but even if we hit 80,000, 70,000, that's fucking way more than we're making before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's still gonna get you, you know,
how
farther away.
How close were you to your goal?
We made 100,000. I think we made like 99 or 98.
It was like maybe like
that's because I saw your video.
Like it was like pretty damn like we were off like 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like something super super.
But we had something to aim at, and we the whole entire year we're working like, okay, we're gonna book this, do that, do this, do that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in like another thing I wanted to add when you said like something about the shirts, like, oh, I can't order like 100 shirts. Or
$100,000 worth of shirts
like,
or whatever. Yeah,
you gotta act like you're that $100,000 business, because maybe you're not making that much, but if you start acting like that person, then the universe is gonna catch up to what you're doing. Yeah, because like for example, like when she said earlier, like about vibrations, energy. Like last year, that was a time where I was like writing my goals and like writing what I wanted to do that year or like that month, and I was like, I want to bring more business. I want to make more money. And I started writing it down every day. All of a sudden, I will have like a random DM from somebody like, oh, I need this video, whatever. The next day, hey, I need a video for this and this and this. I need a video for, like, I was just getting all these crazy DMs. I didn't have to ask for business. I was just getting the opportunities. Why? Because I was acting like that person that I wanted to be. I was putting that into the universe, and I feel like I was getting it back.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're doing this year. You know what I mean? Because he said you gotta live the, like you said something
act
about,
like the person you want to become.
Yeah, like you were
babe, she called next and like you took over.
She called next.
That's true. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's true. Like, right? It's like act like the person you want to become now.
Yeah,
right. Like going back to the now, and I feel like the dichotomy that I was talking about is like there's delusional, and then I'm blanking. What's the opposite? What did we just say?
Realistic?
Yes, sorry. I totally just blanked. Yeah. Delusional and realistic. I am extremely delusional about my goals, and I am realistic with my day-to-day.
Okay, that makes
so I'm like, I
sense.
set these big, crazy goals, and I'm like, me right now, I cannot accomplish them, but I'm going to grow into that person who's going to accomplish that. I don't know how I'm going to grow into that person, but what can I do today? What can I do right now to get myself one step closer to that, right? It's like, think about it, with like, and I want to add on to like what you said. We set that goal for $100,000. We moved to Houston. We had $6,000 in our bank account. How can two kids make $100,000? We did 3 months of work for free. We were fucking delusional, but we were like, you know what? Somehow it's gonna happen. I remember like in our kitchen, it was like a small kitchen. We had like boards, and I'm like, okay, this is our goal. This is how much we made this month. This is how much we made this month. Like, break it down into bite-sized chunks that you can think about it. Like, how much is so $100,000 a year? How much is that a month? How much is that a week? Right? Be realistic.
Yeah, for sure.
What can I do? Like, say if it's like $500 a week, what can I do to make $500 this week? Right? I can do everything in my power. Okay, I can post on social media, right? I can post on my story. I can figure out how to run an ad. It's not expensive to run ads. Like, you know, I mean, yeah, it is depending on how much you're running, but like,
take her course.
But no, I don't have an ad course. But you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that you can do, and if you're taking intentful action, you can get yourself there. And if you don't hit $100,000, so what? You fucking made $75,000. What if you would have made your goal $50,000? You probably would have made 40.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's okay to be delusional, and I wanted to reframe you, right? Because it's like sometimes you disappoint yourself. Like, what if you were like, wow, I set this big, incredible goal, and I got here. Like, what if I would have set it smaller? I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
It goes
like,
back to being
grateful,
right?
Yeah, it goes back to being grateful and celebrating yourself. Like, you weren't this person when you started, and like, look who you became in the process to get where you are. Sure, you didn't hit that goal that you wanted to hit, but like, it's not about the goal. Remember, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about who you become along the way. It's not about when your brand becomes successful. It's about all these things that you were like shaped and formed into, and what your business meant to you and became along the way.
Yeah.
That's where the money's at. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm super aware of like everything that like I do, and like how much time has gone into everything that I do. Even today, right? Like I was like, I showed her some video, like it was like a fitness video, and it was like, oh, let's say the girl's like at 28, and they're like, well, wait till you reach 30, and then she turns 34, and it's like she's like
even more fit,
right? And I'm like, man, it's crazy because like I feel like right now in my 30s is like the best time right now. Like right now, I feel like I'm 31, and I'm like, all right, we got this podcast. It has traction. Like I feel like the 30s is gonna be the years that like it's gonna be like where it all pays off, you know. And I used to think my 20s was like, all right, 20s like I'm a fucking adult, like I got it fucking figured out. But the 20s is like where the trial and error is like full in depth, you know, like trial and error. And then 30s is like, all right, I'm starting to see like fruits of my labor, like boom boom here and there. And I don't know. Yeah, it goes back to that too, though.
Yeah, and like you look back and like think about right now, like whenever you quit that job, you were like, what the fuck am I gonna do, right? You had no idea how, and like look at you now, like look at where you're at right now, in this moment.
Yeah.
And you're like, if that would have never happened, I would have gotten that. If that would have never happened, wow, that had to happen. Like,
yeah.
I really truly believe in divine timing and like these obstacles that are sent our way to shape us into who we're supposed to become.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't just wake up and become them.
Yeah.
No,
and then it has to be in you though. It has to be in you, because that job that I had, it was like a $3 raise every year, right? So I was like, I started off like at 14, 17, 20, you know, like started like, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm making more money every year, and I'm just like, you know, next year I'll be at fucking $40 an hour or some shit, you know. And I'm like, you start to get like complacent and comfortable in where you're at. But I knew the person that I am. I knew that I was a creative. I knew that I wanted to like have my own business. So I was willing to give all of that up to be here right now, pretty much, you know what I mean? And some people don't have that in them. Like some people are like, which is, there's nothing wrong with a job, right? But like some people are good with $40 an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And I feel like it's okay to like understand and respect other people's like view and model of the world. Like we are all so individualistic, and like everybody's version of happiness is different. Everybody's version of success is different, right? Based off of their beliefs, how they grew up, everything. Like everybody is so different, and it's okay to want what you want, right? It's not like I'm not better than you because I want what I want. You're not better than me. It just is what it is, you know?
I bet the viewers right now are like fired up right now.
Yeah, because I'm fucking fired up.
Me too. I'm like whenever I like talk about this stuff, I get like shaky.
Yeah.
I'm like I get like the chills.
No,
like
you know
I'm
what's
shivering.
so crazy? Like I just went on a live. Like I got invited to a live with Deadstock, right? So it's like this fitted hat community.
Yeah.
And they literally just talk about fitted hats, but they invited me on. They're like, let's talk about your brand, let's talk about like the podcast and everything. And when I was there, like I was just talking like this right now, like just motivating shit, like whatever, and it kind of like got me fired up myself. And then we did a podcast earlier today, and then we were talking about like,
this is my third podcast today.
Yeah, you're grinding, huh?
And then we talked about the same thing. I pretty much like reiterated everything that I said on the live on the podcast, and now we're here again, you know. So right now I feel like I'm on a fucking roll. I feel like I'm fucking fired up.
You feel like magical, right? Like,
yeah, I feel like I'm about to start levitating right now.
I'm like, you just see me and I'm like
you're gonna be like, man, I'm out, you know, like this guy's crazy.
Hey, I'm like, hey, we're not staying for pizza.
No, but it's true though, because
it is.
Like going back to the living how you want, like the basically living the lifestyle you want, right? Obviously not in like a dumb way, but like it's one of those things, because I told him this year, like we're gonna fucking make it somehow. We're gonna make it, right? And we're gonna travel, because we always hold back on traveling because we're like, we don't got money.
Same reason, yeah.
And then it's just like, no. So I'm like, we're going to take 4 trips this year. How the fuck is it going to happen? I don't know, but we're going to make it happen, you know? And
is this a sign right here?
It's a major award.
It's a sign.
Is this that? Oh, yeah.
Hey.
But I told him, I was like, it's so funny because he literally just said, I didn't even know we were going to Disney World until you're just like, we're going to Disney World. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm planning that trip already. Like, I'm taking Milo to Disney World, and it's gonna fucking happen. Like for his birthday, that's how we're gonna celebrate it. And you know, and he told him, oh papi, we're gonna go to Disney World. And he's like, we are? And I'm like, yeah, we are.
Yeah, okay, in your dreams, bro.
But it's one of those things where I'm just like, that's my mentality right now. Like I'm gonna do the shit that I want to do, and just make it happen. Like it's like if I want to go on that trip, I'm gonna book it and then I'm gonna pay for it beforehand. Like
that's a mentality we need to all have, because before you probably were making that money because you were like, oh, we don't have the money.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were putting that out in the universe, like, oh, we don't have money. Oh, we can't travel. We can't do that. You're already saying no. But now you're taking an initiative. You're doing it, and you might go to 4, 5, maybe just 3, but at least you're doing it. That's why it's gonna happen.
No, for sure. Because like last year we went to LA. We'd never been to LA. We fucking took a road trip over there. We drove almost the whole day. You regret it?
I was gonna say it's freaking far from here.
You said you regret it?
No, I said never again.
It's far. It's
that
like
road trip,
19 hours.
I don't recommend it. I drove to Vegas once. No, never again.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it was hard. The drive was hard, but at the end of the day, I feel like that road trip, I'm never gonna forget it. It was our first family road trip by ourselves. A whole day road trip. We stopped in different locations. It was just, for me, it was an amazing experience, that we were able to give our son, but at the same time, it's just like that we were able to give ourselves, It
taught me that Texas is big as hell.
Yeah.
It took
half our trip was Texas.
18 hours.
Born and raised.
Is to get out of Texas, and then 2 hours just to get to California.
Yes, literally like that, But it's just one of those things, like I told him, like, I stopped doing my lashes, like, maybe like a year and a half ago. Because I was like addicted to refills and just my lash extensions and blah blah blah, right?
You're addicted like that?
Like I would get him,
She's like chill.
She was twitching.
She's like, I need a refill.
Well, you know what I mean? It's just like when you feel like you need it, like it's just like, all right, I'm booking my appointment.
And I'm like, I got my lashes filled today. So before I was coming on here.
Yeah, like it's just like but then I was like, I'm gonna stop because technically I can't afford the lifestyle of getting lashes, right? So I started like looking into like my natural lashes and the whole growing them or whatever. But then this year I was just like, I love getting my nails done. I'm gonna do my nails every month this year because I want to do that, like, and I'm not gonna not do it because we don't got the money. I'm gonna figure out how to make that money for my nails, like.
Really
and you know what's wild is that like it always works out. Yeah, I feel like when it doesn't work out, it's because you're telling yourself this story and like you keep finding proof, and so you keep believing the story. Yeah. But then whenever you go all in on something, it just magically works out, and you're like, it worked out better than I thought.
Yeah, because you're working towards that, right?
Yeah, and like you're telling the universe what you want. So for example, if every month you're telling the universe like, oh, I don't have money for my lashes, every month you're not going to have money for your lashes because the world is a reflection of what you are inside. Yeah. Like everything that you see is a reflection of you.
No, for sure. I feel like, because I told Jazzy and Chris, I'm like, I literally believe like everything happens for a reason. Somehow somebody had to repost you and I had to follow you, and that's how this happened.
And that's how y'all met Art.
Well, Roland said y'all were already you were already following him or something, right?
I don't know. No, I just followed him.
We became best friends earlier today.
Early this morning.
Now we're
after he slid the 20
ad.
No, but yeah, like no.
It's okay, Chris. You're still his best friend.
No, like I just I followed you back today on my personal, but I had already followed you back through.
So this was calculated.
The studio. Yeah, it's like the podcast,
and then the brand.
And on the brand, so it's like here.
I'll
be
following the brand.
Yeah,
sprinkling.
You're like planting seeds every day.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It's just like you want to surround yourself with these type of people, and that's why we love our podcast, because we meet new people, we make new connections, and we just hope that connection becomes a friendship. Yeah, and it's just.
So the question that I had, like that I told you guys off camera, it's nothing crazy, right?
You're making it nervous.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I've never asked this question to anybody.
Okay.
Oh
no pressure, right?
I don't know. I'm getting a vibe.
Hey, no, it's okay.
Oh my god.
Hey, if Rob was here, he'd be like super glad.
No.
Hey, just to clarify, who's the question for?
Both of y'all.
Okay.
And it's for us too.
Okay.
It's for us too. Oh man, I mean, my heart is beating kind of fast.
You're making it like super deep.
Spit it out.
Is it that?
I'm nervous.
We have 4 minutes left. I think we gotta go on a break.
We got a minute each. Go.
Nah. And that's because I watched another podcast and they started doing the first impressions thing.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of want to know like what y'all's like first impression of us was before meeting us. And the reason I asked as well is because like when Jazzy came on, we didn't know them, you know, and Chris was telling Jazzy like, do you know these people? Like, you know, like we're going to their house, like what are they like, you know? But what are y'all's like first impressions of us?
It's okay. Honestly. Yeah, be honest.
Well, honestly, I didn't feel like I made an impression of you because I was like, oh, I think that's just her husband. Like, I feel like that's...
You were the husband.
I'm the husband.
And I'm like, that's Mr. Vogue.
he took my 20s.
Make so that a clip, please.
He's like...
Like, I'm the husband.
Yeah.
So, Evelyn and the husband.
Wait, no, I still got one more person.
Oh. I just want to clarify the question.
Okay.
What's the question?
Just like impression of when we first saw you.
No, like just like
before?
Like let's say like we invited her onto the podcast and she's like, hey, I'm gonna go to this podcast. Like, what do you think?
Damn, that's crazy. That's exactly what I said.
I'm gonna go to this Evelyn's podcast with her dude, I guess, her boyfriend, like, you know,
her baby daddy.
I was just like, bring food back, please.
Well, yeah, it's just like just social media wise, like even seeing us like first.
Well, I don't know. I think I maybe followed you on social media also, like whenever you followed me, but I didn't really know you because I feel like I hadn't listened to the podcast that Jazzy was on too, so I really didn't. I feel like my first impression was when I met you at the Provocative Experience, and like you came up to me like by surprise, and I was like, oh my god, this girl is super sweet. Like I was like, she just like told me all these things, and then you were like, oh, like I would love to have you like as a guest on the podcast, and I was like, oh, like that's super freaking cool, and so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll get to know her soon. You know what I mean? And then I was like hoping you were gonna invite me on because I was like, you know, like you were there and it was like, you know, like-minded people, so I was hoping that we would get to meet, like more, because I know you were leaving like at that time.
I told you, I'm like, I want to see your speech.
Yeah,
I'm gonna head out or whatever.
Yeah.
What about you?
My only impression of you was when I saw you at the door, because I honestly.
You're the wife. Right?
You're the door opener.
The door opener. Let me tell you this. I never open the door.
Oh, wow.
I never.
Really?
Right? I never opened it, but I opened it because he was like over here and I was like closer to the door, but I never opened it.
It's just Milo.
Well, my first.
He's like,
I know, right?
I follow the studio and then I follow the brand, his brand, and then he followed me, so I follow him back. And then I think on the studio, I was watching some of the clips, and I think he sits in front of you. He sits in this
on that side.
That side.
On that side.
So when I was looking at the clips, I was paying attention just to him.
Oh, okay.
And then
I attract views. You know? I don't know.
And then I don't remember you from the Provocative podcast. I didn't know you went.
No.
Oh no! I did go to the event, but I haven't been a guest.
No, to the event. Yeah. So I don't remember you. I don't.
Oh no! I went by myself. I went to go see what was up, and then I just like.
But first impression when you opened the door, I was like, oh, she's really nice, because you were like very like bubbly. Like, oh, like hi guys. Like I was like, oh, okay. And then him, I already had like, oh, he's kind of cool. Like he has a Mexican brand. Like he has like some Mexican like in it. Like I really like that, because I feel like I'm coming more into my Mexican culture era and this past 2 years, because I feel like when I was living in San Angelo, it was like very white populated. So like, not that I was acting white, but I was around more white people.
That's what you were around.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to like tone down your
there's nothing
culture,
wrong,
you know?
but I wasn't being too much of myself, because I feel like kind of didn't fit in.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
And then now that I came here to Houston, and like my friends like Jassy, Chris, Eddie, like
the culture is there.
The culture is here. So I was like, oh, I really like that. I can really relate to that. So I was like, oh,
and y'all are very alike, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get along with them.
They were in like the same jacket.
That's what the reason.
Same jacket.
It's the reason I went to go get it.
Same jacket.
He's like, okay, true.
Blue.
On our break, he told me he likes Domino's. I like Domino's. So
they're in rapport. I know.
Over here.
Hey, Chris is sweating right now. Fuck. I'm lose my best friend.
Losing my best friend. So what was your first impression?
You got 3 minutes.
All right, for you, I thought like, because the first few pictures like of you, like you were wearing shades, right? So I was like, nah, this guy is like, he's a cool dude. Like he doesn't talk. Like whenever you were like, can I bring my husband? I was like, all right, this
like,
dude's just gonna
this douchebag here.
Hey, you're like, what am I gonna wear? Babe, does this look good?
Did he give you Paul D vibes or something?
Nah, but like
that That's his name, right?
It's kind of
Pauly D.
Pauly D.
I was like, who? Okay. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, Paul G. Paul G.
You're like, sure, I don't know him. Yeah, babe.
It's like kind of like when Chris came, like he was like keeping his cool. Like he was just sitting down over here. He was just like not talking. Like
Which is very normal because you'd be the same way.
Yeah, I would be the same way. Maybe it's just like a manly thing, you know. But yeah, I did feel like, all right, he's wearing shades. Like he's not gonna talk. He's like the cool guy. Like he's like I have to go up to him type shit, you know.
What would you have done if he was just sitting? He was just like.
Funny story, real quick.
You brought your shades.
I brought them because I was gonna ask you if it was like if I get invited, I'm gonna wear them. But I was like, nah, like, I'm gonna be without the sunglasses. But I'm the type of person who walks in the mall with my sunglasses on.
Okay,
Like
you're
my friend.
one of those.
Okay, are you at the club wearing glasses?
Absolutely. That's my bodyguard.
Like that?
I have really bad vision, so I haven't taken them. But if there's a chance, you know, if there's daylight, I'll be wearing them if I can.
I see.
And like Jassy makes fun of me when she walks into the gym with her sunglasses on. And, like she walks like me because I'm always wearing them.
I think it's more like a comfort thing.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna I try to wear sunglasses on the podcast. I think I've done it like twice.
It's like,
let me try it out.
It's like my hats. Like I don't like wearing hats because I don't like how I look in hats.
Yeah.
So like I feel like the other accessory I can wear is like sunglasses. And
yeah, I can see
I just roll with it. And then I'm always driving. Because she doesn't drive, I drive her.
I do drive.
She does drive.
Hey, I know how to drive.
She does drive.
Just to clarify, I drive myself.
If we're going somewhere together, I prefer to drive.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you don't trust her? That's cool, bro.
Yeah, I don't trust her. But not just. I mean, I would. Yeah. You know, I always wear them, so I'm like, if I walk into the mall, I'm like, I'm wearing the sunglasses.
Yeah.
I only wear hats to hide my receding hairline. It's like back here.
Oh my god, he's lying. It's not
like, back there. And then, you know, maybe I look more intimidating. Like I'm driving the car.
For sure.
I got, you know, Mexican music all loud with my sunglasses on.
Se cree narco.
Yeah,
he's
like,
so many people,
like it's giving cartel.
People think maybe I think I'm cartel.
And then I get out and they're like, oh, never mind.
Like, wink twice if you're in trouble. Like
I'm like.
They're like, damn, she really got kidnapped.
And what was your impression of her?
I literally thought you're the same person that like is in social media, like you know, because what do you do? Like you say the something 75 hard, like you know, like you say it all fast.
Oh,
you know?
I was like,
when you did when you did it for 75 days.
Oh yeah, it was like, what's up, friends, and welcome to day 74 of 75 hard. That.
But you say it fast, like I feel like
okay, I only get like 30 seconds. I gotta squeeze it. I gotta squeeze the whole.
All I got was 75 hard. That's it. You know?
You're like, so what does she do today? Did she even read?
But you're more I feel like you're funnier than I thought you were gonna be. I thought you were gonna be more serious. I thought you were gonna be like very like quiet, you know.
So I just have a quick question to add on to that. Who is funnier?
I don't think
I would say you.
Thank you, because all of my friends actually think that I'm funnier as well. So I just, in our household,
it's not a competition.
It's a competition.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think you are funnier, but I just feel like because you're just like more, as a girl, you're like very jolly.
Oh, okay,
you know?
yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel like it'd be weird if he was like just as jolly. Like, okay.
Imagine.
He's like, yeah.
But like they're too much. They're draining my social battery.
She's like, you're draining my social battery.
She's like, I think I'm introverted now.
Yeah, for real.
No, what about you? What
but
about?
It's funny.
I think you were the husband for me. I was just like, oh, I guess I saw I saw your page and I was like, oh, okay, like this is what he does.
Well, you said you didn't think we were married, right?
Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh.
Like I was like, I figured y'all were, but I wasn't sure. But I was like, okay, they're a couple, but either he's the husband, the boyfriend, the significant other.
Yeah.
You know?
the side piece.
He's my puggy daddy.
The stepdad.
The stepdad.
Stepdad.
Definitely the stepdad.
And then you're what I pictured to be. Especially
cool.
after I met you, like at Prerogative, when I came up to you, I was like, and I introduced, because you know, when you introduced yourself, like it was hard for me to just.
Did y'all do the shake hand, the handshake?
We were like,
I was like,
hey,
hey, you know?
Did you like overpower?
We dabbed it up.
Hey, I was like, hey, like that's what you're talking. We're just like back and forth.
battling.
Veins coming out. Like,
It turns into our wrestling competition.
No, but it was very like hey, you know when somebody has like a stern, like stern, that's what you say it?
Like, I don't know, stiff, I guess.
No, like
a very
stern. I mean, that's what they teach you, right?
Howard,
you need to have
Howard Stern?
Is it
I don't know.
Is a power handshake.
Like a power handshake, yeah. And I felt that, right? So then I was like, oh, you know.
Did I had a powerful handshake?
Yeah, I felt like we weren't like, I wasn't overpowering you.
It was just like a...
vice versa. It was just like in the middle.
Like firm.
Oh, like a...
Firm. That's what I was looking for.
I thought you hug. Yeah, hug, no?
I don't think we shook hands.
No, yeah, I didn't. We shook hands. Yeah, hug.
I thought you never met her.
Well,
no. I'm like,
I met her at the door.
Who shook hands?
This is before today. You're talking about?
At the event.
At the event.
Gotcha.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
I thought you were talking about today. I was like, yeah, hug when y'all walked in.
I'm a hugger.
I
did hug her. I did hug her when I saw her today. Yeah, but at the event, I was like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, 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 Evelin. And I feel like her response, the vibes I got were like, yes, like, I'm happy to meet you.
Yeah,
type.
that's cool.
Aside from the, oh, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, and I like that because the vibe you were giving me was like, all right, well, this is somebody that I can have a conversation with, you know?
That's cool.
So then...
I was excited to meet you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. And I think you did tell me, like, I think I've seen, like, the podcast. Not the episodes, but you're like, I think I...
Like, clips.
The clips, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that's us or whatever. And then, like, I did get, like, a jolly vibe. But I also would get that from your videos. Because you're very, like... You record yourself and you're just like there talking, having a whole ass conversation, you know? And I'm just like, okay, if she's having a whole ass conversation by herself, recording, she's probably really...
No, she was in front of the mirror pretty much.
Yeah, high-fiving.
High-fiving every time.
So
every
then,
take.
What I was thinking that you were is what you brought.
Oh, that's awesome.
Table. Yeah, so
that's
the
cool.
same with you. I did think like, okay, well,
douchebag.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
No, I just really think like, oh, he's probably not gonna want to be on the podcast. I didn't think you were gonna be like, yeah, I'm down.
I feel like
I thought you were gonna.
If you
be
hadn't
like
posted that clip, I probably wouldn't have offered.
He's approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought you were gonna be like just chill, because you know Chris, when he came, he was super chill. Like, all right, I'm gonna sit back. And I feel like you've been like that. When I've gone by myself to like, you know, well, with Rob, right? When I went by myself.
Just one?
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, no, twice. You've done two.
But anyways, yeah, those, right? He went and he was sitting behind chilling, right? And that's how you were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
hiding
how
my
you were
receding
going to
hairline.
be, like chilling, you know? But when he... Did I tell you or did he tell you to be on?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. He was here.
The $20.
And he was like that. You said like, oh, you'd be down or something. I was
like,
okay.
I don't know what to tell him. Let me just invite him on real quick.
You're like, hey, bro, I really like the jacket. You want to?
He's like, hey, bro, can you go wait in the car?
This room actually holds 3 people only.
But yeah, that was my first impression. But whenever y'all walked in, I was like, all right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's your impression of us now?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good question.
I feel like it's one of those things, like I had mentioned earlier, that the reason I appreciate the podcast is because I feel like it started as a connection when we met over there, you know. That was the connection. We connected, you know. And I feel like now it can become a friendship. Hopefully we can get her to drink at some point,
I drink a little bit.
You know, but like I definitely see like we could hang out, you know, or something.
Yeah.
Like in the future.
Imagine you guys are like boring off camera.
Right? I am.
No, you're not.
You like don't even talk.
He's like all business. Like,
hey, you're like. Well, thanks for coming.
I'm like, all right, man. I'm gonna go lay down.
So this year he's very like always working 24/7, right? But I think it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, who's worth the time.
Yeah.
Kinda like, not that if he says no to people it's because you're not worth it, but it's just like you choose like who you wanna be around, kinda to uplift you and to motivate you to do better.
I agree. I mean, you really are who you surround yourself with. I mean, it's like these cliches that our parents tell us, but like they really hold some truth.
Yeah, because what's the saying? Like, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
Is this or there's another one, it's like, show me your, what is this? It's like, show me your friends.
Show me your social security card.
No, it's not so. It's like, are you? So there.
Can you say what I told you? Because I think I'm gonna say it wrong.
What is it?
It's like
I can mute your mic real quick if you want to.
Hey,
say it.
Like you want to strive to be like, for example, if you and me were like best friends.
But practically,
we're best friends. How do I say it?
I literally don't remember. When did you tell me this recently?
It's like if I got if you got invited to somewhere important, you would invite me because you think I'm a good representation of who you are. Mm-hmm. That's who you want to be.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
If I invite
I hadn't
you guys,
heard that. Yeah, that's really good.
Like I think you'll be a good representation.
It's kind of okay. It's kind of like, all right. So when I went on this live, we were talking about screen printers, and I have a guy that I go to. His name's Danny, and he does my screen printing for me.
Shout out to Danny.
Shout out Danny. But
Shout out Danny.
There have been people like, let's say like they're like, hey, can you send me your screen printer? But I'm like, I mean, how serious are you? Because I don't want to send you to him, and then like you kind of like just do a one-time thing, or it's like not worth Danny's time. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like Danny's gonna be like, what the fuck, like he sent me like some random,
I think that's a perfect example,
yeah.
It's like one of those. I was like, so I kind of saved Danny for like the serious guys, like the ones that are really doing some shit, but if it's like I want to do a birthday shirt, I'm like, nah.
Hey, you're like, here's this information,
go on Etsy or right, that's what you're saying. But it's like, nah, it's like, Danny, I'm gonna take care of him, and when I see somebody that's worth his while and worth my while, then that's where we'll build something together,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like you really do become the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Like there was this study, and it was like heartbeats like in a petri dish, and they were like, I think it was maybe like after like 5 minutes they were already sinking in deep. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So like think about it, like, you know what I mean, like it's like the more you get in rapport with someone, the more like you literally become like them. Obviously, it's like you're different, you're individualistic, but like I feel like you pick up the traits. Okay, like for example, like for Jazzy, like whenever I first became friends with her, like there were many traits of her like that I really admired, right? And it's like, it's not like a comparison like, oh, she has this and like I don't have this. It's like, oh, right, like seeing the beauty in someone, like, wow, I love that. Like one thing that I love about her is like I love that she is like able to share like her sexuality on like social media, and like she's not afraid to like be sexy and like be feminine, like be herself in that way, because it's not really like accepted, you know what I mean? It's more so looked at like as like shameful, and like to be able to like stand in that and like stand in her power is something that I really admired. And it's like to some people, right? Obviously it's like, like it's circumstantial, right? Based off of your beliefs and like everything. But whenever I met her, and like that's one of many traits that I love about my best friend, and it's like I picked up a little bit of that, right? It's like in times, right? Like it's like I take a token of that, and it becomes like a piece of me. And it's like you pick up the traits, the good and bad, whether you realize it, of the people who you're around.
Yeah, because you were looking good at the provocative experience.
Hey, thank you. She picked up my outfit.
Hey, she's married.
No, yeah. Like,
my feet hurt she said so that, right?
Bad.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm
yeah, because
so
I mean, I was so uncomfortable. Like, not that day, but like, I would have never chosen that outfit 2 years ago. And like, I mean, I dress comfortable most of the time because like I'm at home and like I enjoy it, and like, I like to just like chill out at home. But like, I love like whenever like we go to the mall, I'm like, hey, can you do my makeup? Or like, hey, can you help me with this? Or like, can you help me like go pick out this outfit? And like, she's just like always like so like compassionate, and like just like helps me in this way. And and it's like I've never had a friend like that. And then in the sense like a part of me that's like maybe like I was like I was insecure about like my like not like sexuality, but like femininity, right? Like growing up, like showing my body, I've always been told like, oh, you need to cover up, like you don't show that, you don't do that, you know what I mean? Like you need to just, you don't want to be seen type of thing. And so like to kind of embrace that, like it's a part of me, like it's my body, it's beautiful, like this is who I am, you know what I mean? Like to be able to like tap into that is like extremely powerful. And it's like, but think about the traits, going back to the main subject, think about the traits that like you've picked up from your friends, whether they're like good or like not so good. You know what I mean? It's like there's this saying too, like for financial is like you make the sum of your 5 friends. So like how much do your friends make, how much do your other friends make, how much do you make? You're somewhere in between.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good thing we've had like millionaires on here, right? But yeah, it's kind of like because I was watching this podcast earlier, and then this guy, he was like, back in the day, well, it's Josh from La Platica. Do y'all know La Platica? Like
I've heard of it.
It's a LA podcast. It's pretty dope. And one of the guys used to be on YouTube back in the day. Like it was like Cholo Adventures. I don't know if you ever watched that. All right, so he used to play like this gay character, a gay cholo. His name was like Galo or something like that. But I mean, it was just a character for him. But he was like, if I had never done that, like I would have never got like the brand deals that I have now. I would have never had like, you know, a lot of things. But a lot of people kind of look at like social media kind of like weird. How you were saying earlier, you know, like that it's like it's just not their thing, so they can't relate to like the social media world. And so this dude, he was pretty much saying like he felt comfortable enough to like go out and do something different, like play this character, even if his friends were gonna look at him like kind of weird and stuff. Like, so I say that to say that like my friends, like I love my friends, right? Like my core friends that like I grew up with, but they were never like in the creative mindset, you know. So it's like me like doing social media or talking on the camera, like let's say like they wouldn't make fun of me, but like they'd be like, oh, who am I? Like let's say like they'll be like, oh, who am I? You know, and everybody's like, oh, that's, you know, making fun of me type shit or whatever. But I feel like once they see that success or something come out of it, that's when like, yeah, it's pretty much how we were saying, you know, like that's when they're like, oh shit, like this is something, you know. And then so now the people I'm surrounded with now are people that are in the same realm that I'm in, even though I still, you know, I love my friends though. But
yeah, whenever I was on Jazzy's podcast last year, she told me, what was it, Andy Frisella, or it was, I can't remember, I think it was, I don't know if it was Andy Frisella, but she told me this one quote that she was saying that this, whatever I'm trying to say, hold on, I need to figure out how to say this, like, oh my god, I don't know how to say it. Oh, sometimes people can't believe in you because you haven't given them enough proof, right? Because she was saying, whenever you told me that you were going to run the marathon, well, like, you've never ran before, like, I've asked you to go run and like you say no, you know what I mean? So like, where's the proof? But then it's like all of a sudden, right? Like she's like, oh, okay, well, like, oh shit, like she trained all her days this week. She hit all her miles. She's been training for 2 months. Like she's doing this, right? It's like you're building up proof, right? So I feel like in those moments, which I felt like it was a nice reframe because it's so true, right? Like we get in this mindset of like, dang, like why don't my friends believe in me, right? But it's like, it's not their job to believe in you. It's your job to believe in you, and they'll come around, right? It's like, I love this saying of like, we have our own prescription, right? Like if I put Art's contacts on, I would not be able to see. And like other people can't see what's meant for you because they're wearing their own prescription. Yeah. So it's like, it's your job to see it, right? And like have faith because it's not here yet. So it's your job to have faith and keep showing up until you're able to make them see it. Yeah. You know?
No, that's definitely relatable because I feel like with the podcast, like I told y'all like off camera, that we record Fridays. So my family or his family, like I feel like at first they didn't take it as serious, but now they don't do things like, if they want us to go, they won't do it on a Friday because they know we're busy. You know, like we're so consistent with it that it's just like we've said no. Well, no, we have a podcast. I can show up late or, you know, whatever. I mean, what time is it? It's 10:48. Like, oh, shit. You know, so it'd be one of those things like, no, I'll show up after if it's still there or if y'all are still hanging out. But if not, then I can make it because I have a podcast, you know? Yeah. And even if they don't watch, you know, it's just one of those things. It's just like, I feel like now they know. We've been doing it for consistently and we talk about it so much that it's like it's our business, you know, and now people know like, okay, well, Fridays they're busy.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, a lot of times people have to see to believe. Yeah, for sure. You know, and like it's your job to believe before you can see it.
Yeah. Not everybody's braces fit your teeth.
Exactly.
I was okay.
Dentist.
Yeah.
Dentist.
Hey, I'm gonna steal that. So if you see me post it on my story, just mind your business.
Hey, now I'm just gonna be like, if anybody's like having like some sort of like down day, I'm gonna be like, man, I know this life coach, you know.
No, hey, give her a call. Don't call me that.
She's like, that's generic.
There's nothing wrong with being a life coach. I don't like to put myself in boxes.
So what would you what would you call yourself?
I don't know.
It's kind of like when people like don't like the word. What is it? Like it's influencer, and then there's the other thing.
No, it's not content.
Oh yeah, it's influencer and content creator.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't like influencer. I like content creator. Like kind of like that.
Yeah. So we've had that too here, like that they don't like influencer, right?
Yeah, don't call me that. Don't call me that, or I'm walking out.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
No, that's never happened. But with that being said, guys, did you have another question?
No, I mean, what do you guys have coming up before we end this pod?
Probably gonna get Whataburger on the way home, and then
I was gonna say because she can't say what she was.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about pizza.
I'm not hungry.
That's crazy.
I ate pizza.
Not pizza.
Birria tacos before we started this, so
I haven't ate. What do I have?
He's like Domino's.
What do you have going on?
She's just
it's like when people ask you like, what do you do for fun, and you're like, what do I even do on a day-to-day basis?
What do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up? I think just get better this year. We don't. I think as right now we don't have any like new businesses that we're gonna start anytime soon. I mean, you never know. I mean,
yeah, you never know. It might pop up when we go to Hooters and like eat some wings, right?
Hey.
We're both very ambitious.
Yeah.
So I mean, you never know. But you just keep growing as a person, keep growing the business, keep growing my clients, keep growing as a friend. Everything that I can.
Is there another goal, like another 100K, 125K maybe?
It's a 500K this year. 500K to $1 million.
Like for real, 500K is the goal?
No,
like
honestly, I think
crazy.
we can be
dope.
millionaires by the end of the year.
Yeah, because, you know, if you think about it, like talking about delusional, like you never know what can happen, right? Like you never know who you can meet.
Yeah.
Like,
you never know.
You know, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You truly never know how I told you that, like, we're infinite beings. I feel like the only ceiling is the one that you magically create in your mind.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because and I really love like if you can imagine it, you can do it. Because think about how many times I imagined myself, like whenever I used to go run, when I would finish like my like 5-mile runs, I would like, and I was like about to like have like 30 seconds, I would literally like close my eyes and I'd be like imagining myself how it would feel once I crossed the finish line, and I would like feel it and like create it like so deeply, you know. And like with product photography, I would keep telling myself like, every day my inbox is full and like people are lining up to work with me. Like people love my work. People want to pay me for my price that I'm requesting. And it's like no questions asked. Like I have these amazing clients, right? Like all these different things. Like, what do you want? Like figure out what it is the fuck that you want and then ask for it. And don't sit, like surrender, right? But don't sit back. You can't do nothing, right?
Yeah,
it's like that.
It's like you're speaking into existence.
Yeah, it's like we were watching that movie, this movie last night, and he was saying that there was this guy, and he asked God, because there was like a big storm or whatever, and he asked God, and they were saying like what was the first one? I sent you like a radio telegram. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Right? He's like, I sent you like a radio telegram. And he's like, no, it's okay. Like God's coming for me. And then they sent him a boat, or they sent him like a truck or something. And then he's like, no, okay. Like God's coming for me. And then they sent him like a boat. And then he's like, no, it's okay. Like I don't need to go. God's coming for me. And then so he dies and he's upset and he gets to heaven and he's like, God, like, why didn't you go save me? And he's like, what are you talking about? I sent you a telegram. I sent you a truck and I sent you a boat.
Yeah.
Like you got to take action. You got to move. Yeah. You can't just sit where you're at right now and expect everything that you've ever wanted to come to you. You got to work for it.
Yeah.
You got to take action. So figure out what you want and take action, intentful action, right, to get yourself there.
Yeah.
And then, right, so I love saying like, asking you shall receive, because you will receive. You just don't know how it's going to show up. It's like you ask and like God's like, all right, here comes your package, right? Amazon, but it's not 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, it's a perfect way to end it. I'm not gonna lie, when you were saying that, I thought about Super Smash Brothers. No, what's the other one that we play?
Which one?
With the dice. The Mario Party.
Oh, Mario Party is so fun.
There's a game where you're like, you know that ball and chain guy, like the dog or whatever. It's like you have to like, you're hiding in a little barrel. And like you have to like move when he's not looking, and when he like wakes up, you have to like hide. It's like if you don't move, you're safe, you know. But it's like you kind of like gotta get up and take baby steps, and then you risk losing, you know, but you get closer to the end goal.
Yeah, for sure.
I like
life lesson right there.
Life lesson.
That's a good.
Shout out Super Mario, man.
You need to write a book.
Hey, books coming. Books coming. But all right, guys, that's it. Brittney, Art, appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Super long. Other than that, I don't know what you want to.
No, I mean, just thank y'all for coming.
Thank you for having us.
It's a good.
It was an honor.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So much love, guys. That's it. Peace.
Bye. Peace.